Hey everybody, and welcome to the Media Buffering Podcast. I am Estefano, and I am joined by my friends today. We have Spin Master Quentin.
Spin Master. I'm not a DJ.
You make music though.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, it's fair.
And then we have Old Wise Man Matthew.
I'm very glad that you guys are willing to let me out here today. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you got to get him out of the house sometimes.
What is the SpongeBob thing? The what kind of place is this? But he says it in the old voice because they're both fucking dehydrated.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that in a minute though.
Yeah, whenever
I
they
don't
talk in
need it.
old voices, whenever they're
I don't need it.
dehydrated in SpongeBob.
I
I need
really
it.
don't
I
need
don't
it.
need it. I need it.
Yeah,
Ah, SpongeBob has really made an impact on our culture, hasn't it?
yeah.
Is everywhere. Anyway, so today's podcast topic is talking about media we would like to re-experience for the first time. But first, we have some news today. It seems to me honestly from a lot of numbers I've been seeing that movies are back, baby. At least in movie theaters anyway.
Nice.
You had Shang-Chi, which basically blew every record for pandemic numbers out of the water. And it wasn't even, close to the last movie. I think the other movie that broke it was Fast and Furious 8 or 10. I don't know what movie we're on now.
Fast and Furious 205, Return of the
Yeah.
Cars.
Yeah,
Return of the Cars.
which
They have
whichever
like three
one was
movies
the
with no
most
cars, and then they have that one, and it's Return of the Cars.
In the previous movie, the cars sacrificed themselves to save the riders, and
whichever one was the most recent one. They had that one was the one that broke all of the, pandemic numbers and that, everyone went to go see that or they were saying everyone was going to see that. And then Shang-Chi broke it by a mile, bro. It was crazy. And now Venom's opening numbers, it came out today, but from what it has seen from, pre-order tickets and like pre-bought tickets, all that stuff, Venom seems to be doing really well. No Time to Die, the new James Bond movie, looks to be doing very well. Dune comes out later this month. It's doing very, very well. So it seems that movies in theaters are coming back.
wait, Dune, is that based off like the book? Dune?
Yeah, it's based off of the book. Yes.
Oh, cool.
There was also an original movie, and apparently it's a cult classic because some people like it and some people don't.
I thought it was based off the metaphysical event.
Of a sand dune?
Yes.
Is that a metaphysical event?
Yeah, move on. Fuck it.
You
Fuck
tried.
it. I'm too tired. Fuck it.
You tried. You really tried. But yeah, it seems like movies are gonna start coming back to theaters. Things are gonna start becoming some type of normal, at least for now. I know I watched Shang-Chi in movie theaters, and it wasn't that bad. Quentin and I, along with another friend of ours, will be going to the movies uh, this upcoming week to go see Venom, which I'm not necessarily excited for, but I've been hearing
And
that
why'd you recommend it?
I already told you, I know what the end credit scene is, and I feel like I am obligated to go see it, but I didn't want to see it by myself. That being said, I have been hearing a lot of really good things about Venom. That it's been getting better reviews than the original one. People are saying it's much better than the original one.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe the movie where they put Carnage in it, but it's PG-13 is gonna be good. I don't know.
I haven't seen the first one. Should I?
Uh,
Like before going to see the second.
knowing your taste in movies, probably not.
No,
I
I'll
actually
just
really
give you the
enjoyed it.
quick rundown of the differences between comic book Venom that you probably know and Venom in movie
Okay, that's fair.
before we watch the movie, and then you'll know. But yeah, we're gonna go see that, so that's gonna be cool. I know I'm looking forward to going to see Eternals and then Spider-Man at the end of the year. So it seems like, going to movies is starting to become the new normal. Movies are starting to get more numbers again, so that's good. I think going to a movie theater, as expensive as it is, going to see a movie in theaters is good. The only bummer is that unfortunately, theaters have not decreased their prices. Granted, the movie theater we're going to has like 30% off tickets that are before like 2 p.m. So that's dope. So we get some nice discounts for that when we go see Venom because I don't want to pay full price for that shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the one thing for me is that I really want to see, Shang-Chi. I really want to support it. I want to see Venom, the sequel to Venom, because I really like the first movie. And there's a lot of movies on my list, but it's just like the pricing for going to the theater has just been outmatched by streaming services. That is just it feels just like you're being even more cheated at this point.
And I feel like that's also the thing with Marvel movies is that on average, I think it's because I know for video games it's 3, but on average, I think most people watch 6 or 7 movies in a theater every year. And
That seems way too high.
eh, there's a lot of movies coming out. That's why. But I feel like we have 3 or 4 Marvel movies coming out every single year now. So Marvel has basically dominated that space. They have made sure if you're going to go see a movie, you're going to see a Marvel movie or you're going to go see a Disney movie.
Yeah,
Which
at least
granted, I
half the
don't
movie
necessarily
theater is
think
going to be
yeah, I don't
their
necessarily
movies.
think a Disney movie is one of the movies you would see, but like a Star Wars movie, a Marvel movie, those things you have to see in theaters. Dune, I know a lot of people really want to see that movie in theaters. It was originally in HBO's slate or in Warner Brothers slate to be put on HBO Max for a dual release, and then they made a deal, so that's no longer the case. It's once again exclusive to movie theaters, I think. That's what I heard anyway. But I think this growth in how many people are going to go watch movies is actually pretty good. It's just unfortunate that it did not go for long enough that they finally lowered their prices. Because I would love to go see more movies in theaters if they were affordable and not $12 to go watch a movie, and then you have to pay even more money for like
Snacks.
snacks.
Concessions, yeah.
Especially if you go to a theater that has like a full sit down, eat dinner and all that stuff, and then like the dinner's always super
Oh yeah, like
expensive because they
movie
always
tavern
jack
or
up the
whatever.
prices to like $30 for a fucking hamburger.
It's the
Yeah,
strangest thing to me that we have like a movie watching culture of sneaking snacks in. Like every time I'm going to a movie, I'm going to like the nearby Dollar Tree, and I'm grabbing some snacks or candy if I'm gonna have it, and I'm just walking in with it. And it's such like a weird thing. I don't even know if they still keep you from bringing in outside food and drink at
I'm
most
sure they
movie
say
theaters.
something, but what are they gonna do? They don't have like security.
Yeah,
yeah. It's the same for me. It's I either go to Walgreens or I go to a Dollar Tree and I get some candy and I put it in my pocket or whatever, and then I just stroll in like nothing's happening.
I never noticed it. I never noticed it, but until you said that. But like, I was just thinking about it. There actually is like a Dollar General right next to the AMC.
exactly.
I
They know what they're
did
doing.
never
There's
notice
there's
that.
also a Walgreens right in front of the
There
AMC.
is. You're right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's always what I've done. I think the culture is kind of unfortunate that that's what we've had to like resort to, you know. But it is what it is. Hopefully things will become more affordable, but realistically they will probably not. It'll probably be the same.
Look at anything right now and tell me anything's becoming more affordable.
Oh no, it's all getting more expensive. They're trying to make video games $70
Oh, fuck that.
now.
I'm on Steam. I don't have to pay $60 for a video game today.
We'll get to that.
But are you gonna get
So
a new graphics card?
You know what? You know what? You can like go away
Quinn's
forever.
been trying to get a new graphics card for ages, and he's just dying over there because he doesn't want to spend the money, yet he also wants to spend the money. So
I
it's-
don't want to spend $1,000 for a card that's worth 400.
That's fair.
Thank you. That
Which
is
one's-
fair.
That is fair.
Oh yeah, I mean I get that.
Well, yeah, because people are, it's like
Inflating the prices. So yeah, you can get
it's
a
the
graphics
same with
card.
it's
If
it's
you
the
want
same
a
with a
graphics
PS4
card,
or PS5. I mean,
if you really want one, you can get one. You can get one today. You can find one. Now, do you want to pay $2,000 for something that's worth 500? No. I rest my case.
so
What is the defendant's position?
So moving on to our next subject, this is this is the first follow-up, and I would suppose the last follow-up, on the Scarlett Johansson versus Disney debacle, where she was suing them for money because they put Black Widow on streaming services, and she was promised a cut and all that jazz. So they settled, but Scarlett Johansson technically, as a result, won. She won. Here we go.
$5 and a soda.
$40 million. She got $40 million out of that entire debacle.
I like mine better.
And the funny part is, she only, I know I'm saying only, she only wanted $20 million. This is all alleged, by the way. This isn't confirmed, but I think it's funny, so I wanted to mention it. Allegedly, originally, she only wanted 20 mil. And then Disney came out with their bullshit, well, she should understand that we're in a pandemic statement. And immediately she was like, nah, I'm going to get as much money as I possibly can. So they went over that. Obviously, I'm glad that she got her money's worth. But, like, imagine having $40 million.
Right? Like, that's insane.
Imagine. Obviously, she worked for that, and that was part of her contract and all that sort of stuff. It's crazy to me, though. Also, how much money would they have, like, how much money would she have received had they not had this entire debacle, you know? Like, would she have gotten more than $40 million? Or did she get more than what she originally would have anyway? Did Disney just shoot themselves in the foot and had to pay out even more money?
I mean, we're at such big numbers that it almost doesn't even matter.
Oh yeah. Ultimately,
Like-
$40 million is more money than a normal person would ever need in their life.
We'll ever see in their life.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I feel like I should weigh in, but also it makes my heart hurt.
Because you want $40 million?
It makes my
I
heart
mean,
hurt.
if I wanted to be selfish, then yeah, I'll say that. But if I wanted to be a little more humble, I'd be like, nobody should have $40 million. Yeah, I want $40 fucking million. Do you not?
No, I want $40 million too. Like I said, I'm happy that she got her due, that she got what she was paid, or that she got what she deserved and all that. It's just, looking at those numbers, I'm like, if I had $40 million, I wouldn't do anything for the rest of my life. Like, what?
Dude, if I had $3 million, I'd retire.
Yeah, it's $40 million is so much money.
Yeah, that's like, I can think of already like 10 people off the back of my, head that now, because I got $40 million, we don't have to. We're set. Like, I don't know. It's insane to me, the idea of having that much money and not sharing it. Not to say that ScarJo isn't sharing it. I'm just thinking about if I got 40 million,
Oh yeah, 100%. I wouldn't know what to do with the 40 million.
Right?
It's like if someone gives me $40 million, I'm like, boys, we eating good for the next several years, boys. Let's go.
We all set. At least I hope so, if you were ever so gracious.
We'll see.
Only Matt, not you.
Not
Fair.
you.
Don't worry, Quentin. If I got $40 million, I'd buy you that new graphics card.
Oh, how gracious of you to give me 0.01%. Oh, wow, aren't you such helping
Hey.
those below your
Oh, of
station?
course.
Hey,
Of
Quentin,
course.
don't worry, man. If I get that 500 mil, Cyberpunk 2077 is going in your game library.
Oh, 100% it's
Very
over,
same
bro.
night.
I'm feeling it's a situation like, oh man, if I had that $50 million, you're gonna get that. You can get the big burger
You
at
get
Five
the big
Guys.
yeah.
Hey, we're going to McDonald's. You don't have to worry about the value menu anymore, buddy.
Oh my
I got
god!
you.
You can get the milkshake and the big burger.
Bro, we're gonna go to a fancy restaurant, and you don't have to worry. If you want to buy something that's $150, go ahead, no problem.
I'll take some extra bacon on my Subway sandwich, please.
oh, it's $1.50. I can handle that.
I can handle that.
What do I look like?
What, I look like a plebeian that can't afford the $1.50 extra for bacon? You know what? Put mozzarella on it.
It's like you have $40 million, and you're going like down the aisle to pay at Walmart, and you look over at your friend, and you're like, you know what? Pick a candy on me, no problem.
There's 90-cent candies at the rack.
You're just like picking like a little Crunch bar or something. You're like, yeah, there you go.
Hey, man, you looking for an Arizona sweet tea? I just hit a fat lick. I'm ready.
$1.
I would die early if I had that much money because I'd be buying so much like junk food, like pizza all the time,
Oh,
soda
I
all the
figured it
time.
was more so. Oh, I'd die early because I'd have so many hitmen on me after everyone knew that I made $1 million.
I mean that too, but
Who
also
has the money
yeah,
for
I
a
just
hitman but also needs $1 million?
I mean, I guess I don't know. It's like what $10,000 to hire a hitman, and you'll make $1 million.
A scary amount of the about the hitman marketplace.
I
Anyway,
mean
next
I mean
next
if you
next news
have that
segment.
much
Next news segment.
money, at that point you just pay off the hitman.
Possibly. I mean, if you knew you were gonna get hit,
Yeah, it takes a lot of foresight.
right?
Like I feel a sniper in the nearby like 300
Yeah,
meters.
I can really
but
feel
yeah,
that red
yeah,
dot on my forehead.
but if I just wear a shirt that says "To all hitmen, I'll pay double."
You just wear a shirt that says
That's
"Don't
just
kill
the
me, I'll
only
pay
shirt you
you."
wear for the rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah, I have like 10 like 10, like copies of that shirt and I just wear it everywhere.
Don't kill me, I'll pay you.
I'll pay you double, bro. Don't kill me.
Okay, I guess that's what we're doing with our $50 million.
Next up, I don't know if you guys heard about this. It was kind of big news, but all of Twitch leaked online.
Oh, I loved that. That was so great, man.
Why did
Actually,
you think that was great?
I forgot. I was going to talk to Matt about it beforehand because of I was going to talk about stuff that probably isn't stuff to bring up here. So I'll talk to you about that afterwards, Matt, if you're interested.
I'm sorry, did you hold on? You said all of Twitch leaked
Yeah,
online?
All of Twitch, the
all
source
of the
code,
streaming site?
every single thing,
Oh, okay.
everything leaked on Twitch.
It-
All of the money that people have made, the top 300 earners or something like that.
I think it was top 300, yeah.
Yeah, top 300 earners, all of their income leaked. I mean, it's not terrible. Like there are people who are mad that
I
some people make
tried-
millions of dollars. And it's like we knew this, right?
I
We've been
tried
giving
to
them the
not
millions.
I tried to not look at the numbers, but then I was watching a clip of Hassan Piker in one of his streams, and he was talking about it, and then the clip came up, and I saw the numbers, and I was like, I don't want to see it. I know what some of the numbers are. They are in the mil range.
Yeah, I mean, top 300, all of them
Nothing
were over
breaks
$1 million.
Nothing breaks 10 mil, but number one gets close. I
Yeah.
will say number one makes the most sense to have that money because it's a company. Number one is Critical Role, but I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to expose singular people.
Well, Vox Machina is getting a show. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that, yeah.
I don't even watch Twitch, so I don't even know half the people's names that were on there. I know like 3-4 people of the names that I saw.
I think XQC was top 10, but that's like the only name that I like picked out besides Hassan Piker, who pointed out himself. Critical Role's on the top, and then I saw that too because his name's short. So I was just like, oh. But yeah, I don't want to expose anyone with specific numbers because I feel like that's kind of dirty. If
Oh,
you
I was
want to
about
see
to,
it,
so good thing you said that.
it's like if you want to go ahead. That
No, it's nothing
that's just
important. It
my
was just something I
prerogative.
was going to bring up was like, oh, Scarlett Johansson made $40 million. That's crazy.
It's good.
You know?
It was kind of interesting. Also, some other stuff leaked because there was certain things in the source code. So apparently, Amazon, because Twitch is owned by Amazon.
Yeah.
So Amazon is working on a Steam competitor called Project Vapor.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because the
that
name
got leaked.
Vapor.
Vapor
Yeah.
to compete with Steam.
Yeah. So, I guess Amazon's trying to do everything because they're getting into the
Nice. MMO world.
Well, they're getting into the MMO world. They're getting into the what is the like they're selling medicine now and all that sort of stuff.
What, they have a
Pharmaceuticals?
pharmacy?
Yeah, they're getting into the pharmaceutical industry.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that was like a year or two ago they started doing that, or they announced that they were going to do that. I don't know if they're doing it yet or not, but they did announce they're going to do that. Obviously, they're the ones who bought Whole Foods, right?
Yeah, that was forever ago. And
Yeah.
everyone thought they were just going to turn the Whole Foods into an Amazon store, and then they created an Amazon store, like a brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
Like, what? You have the brick and mortar store. Why'd you? Whatever.
I don't know, dude.
But I'm just sitting here waiting for the day that I get to wake up to my Amazon brand alarm clock, go get to eat my Amazon brand cereal with my Amazon brand bowl and spoon, and I drive my Amazon brand car to my Amazon job.
And watch your Disney brand shows.
And watch your Disney brand shows, yeah.
Because Disney will be able to go against them, right?
And go
Until
on your-
Amazon gets enough money to buy Disney.
And go on your Google brand website.
Go on your Google brand website.
I mean, all this to say, I don't want to say anything bad
go
about
on your
our overlords or anything like that.
and then
I love all our overlords equally.
Especially when they pay
go
me.
on your Facebook brand social media.
More Facebook brand VR world.
Oh, the Facebook brand VR world.
There'll be nothing left in our world, so I mean, you got to have the oasis, right?
Yeah, our world's basically gonna be like Wally or some shit, is what it's gonna turn into. So, another big news thing that I think is going to potentially impact the entire industry, maybe not video games, but films and television, is the IATSE, or the International Association of Theatrical Stage Employees, has voted to strike. They have not decided to strike yet. Yeah, they haven't decided to strike yet because it was just a vote that they had to do to see if they get the ability to strike or if they can give their president permission to strike. But to see how, how in tune with each other they are, of the people who could vote, there was an 89.66% turnout, which is better than, US elections.
Yeah.
And of those people who turned out, 98.68% said yes. Now these things are for they're striking for things like unsafe and harmful hours, so working way too much to the point that if they have to drive home, it can be dangerous. Unlivable wages for the people who are at the bottom, lack of breaks on set, as well as lack of breaks between filming, so they never really get a chance to breathe. And something that I thought was interesting when I was looking at the things that they're upset about is apparently if you work on a streaming project, so, a Netflix, a Disney Plus project, it pays less, but typically their budgets are bigger now. So even though they have bigger budgets, they still pay you less because it's streaming.
Right. Yeah.
So that's there's I'm sure a lot of other stuff that they're mad about and that they want to change, but that's the short of it. They've been bargaining with the AMPTP, which is the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Nothing got done. They got this yes vote. It made news, and the president of the group who was striking said, "I'm going to talk to them one last time now that they know we can strike." They also have a lot of support from Congress has supported them, a lot of actors. Like, I know Seth Rogen and Brie Larson were the first two who I saw in several articles. They were always brought up. I know the Screen Actors Guild and notably the Screenwriters Guild are with them. And I mean, screenwriters have experience with striking. We had the writers' strike early 2000s. So honestly, I see this as a net win. I had to do research to see what exactly the TSC encompasses, and honestly, it encompasses a lot. It's not even just movies or TV. There's also like they incorporate stuff for stage performances, for concerts, for a lot of gig work. Honestly, so it was really interesting to learn what this group is because I've never learned about it before.
Yeah.
But if they strike, if the if the AMPTP say no, we're not going to give in to your demands or whatever, this could be massive because considering Hollywood is only just now starting to make movies again after basically everything being dead in the water for a little over a year thanks to COVID. If they leave, productions stop. Movies stop being made, shows stop being made in the middle of production. And the writer's strike was bad, but at least you could make movies. They were typically not very good movies. You'd have to start writing scripts on the fly, but you still had the rest of the crew. This is the crew, the people who make the movies, the people who work on lights, the makeup artists, the cinematographers. You need those people to make a movie.
Isn't that what happened during the writer's strike? Is that a lot of movies came out a year later that like didn't have writers?
And they were really bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Quantum of Solace is the one that I can remember just because I've been looking at a lot of James Bond stuff because the new movies coming out. Quantum of Solace, which is Daniel Craig's second movie, a lot of the reasons why it seems rushed, it takes place immediately after Casino Royale. A lot of the writing is not necessarily accurate and kind of jumps around. A lot of reasons why that's the case is because they were in the middle of the writer's strike and the directors had to write a scene on the day. So you can do that. It's not going to turn into a good movie, so I wouldn't recommend it. You still need your screenwriters. But if we're going to talk about who is crucial to a movie, arguably even more crucial than an actor,
Yeah.
it's the people making the movie. And I mean, they're right. One of the things I put down in my notes for recommendations for all of you guys watching, if you have an Instagram, I would recommend looking up IA underscore stories on Instagram. That is their Instagram page where they post a lot of stories that people send them. They just write them out like the classic black background, white text, where they write out those stories and you can read real life stories of things people have experienced on sets. I would recommend looking at that, kind of getting a feeling for why they're threatening to strike. So I think this will be interesting to keep an eye on. Obviously, as a consumer, I hope that the studios give in because I do not want movies to stop. But as a person who really cares about the craft and cares about people, I care about people. I want this to go through too because they're working their butts off, getting barely enough pay, and you're just treating them like dog shit. They work 19 hours a day and then have to drive home in the dead of night, maybe having barely eaten anything. That's pretty terrifying if you don't know where you like your surroundings because you're filming in a different country. So I saw that and it's pretty massive. I know everything was kind of reporting on it. A lot of people have been talking about it. But what are your guys' takes on it?
I don't know. I don't really have a take on it. I support pretty much any labor strike, but that's about it. I hope that they do get what they want. They should get what they want. But yeah, they don't really have anything beyond that.
Yeah, I'm always for people making more money. At least if you're not a millionaire. I'm actually not a fan of Scarlett Johansson making another $50 million. Sorry. I think that I don't always support unions. Like depending on what job it is, what sector it's in. Sometimes unions are really bad. I'm not speaking from personal experience. I've never been in a part of a union, but I know that I have family who was part of like coal workers unions and stuff like that, and a lot of times those unions would take more money than they do anything for you.
Right.
So that is a problem. But whenever it comes to gig work, I think that unions are the best situation in gig work because there's no one there to help you. Whenever you're doing gig work stuff like that, actors, writers, all that sort of thing, they definitely need some sort of group to represent them because then you get taken advantage of on an individual basis. You're not always working with the same company.
Yeah.
So I do think that whenever it comes to gig work, like actors unions, good. Writers unions, great. Again, I'm not a part of any union. Never been a part of any union, so I don't know from firsthand experience. But I would imagine that it's honestly best case scenario what they're doing right now to get more money and all that stuff when it comes to the gigs that they are taking.
I mean, you just see the solidarity and how many people voted, and then how many people voted yes, and clearly, all of them seem to, or almost all of them, seem to think that
It's the best option.
it's the best option.
Yeah.
And I can't blame them. I mean, I read some of those stories because there was the person who I saw talking about it first linked or mentioned that Instagram specifically, so I went to go look at it, and yeah, it's just. I mean, a lot of people want to get into the movie industry and or the TV industry, and they get these jobs, and they're like, "Oh man, this is gonna be so good," and then they just get taken advantage of, and it's a nightmare, and it's just really sad, you know. These people think they finally made it, and then they figure out that what they wanted is actually absolutely awful. which is a lot of media jobs. Unfortunately, right now you have people who want to make like people who want to be game designers and stuff like that, having that same feeling depending on what company they go to work for.
Yeah.
So the
Especially with like Blizzard, right?
oh yeah, Blizzard has even more stuff because then you get harassed. But I think the idea of making these jobs a lot better and making them easier to get into and a much more positive environment can help those people who get into the industry feel like they're at least they have their foot in the door and it's something nice versus having their foot in like a garbage can instead of a door. And that's where they're stuck.
I don't like that metaphor. What the
I
fuck
don't
was
either.
Very
that?
nice analogy.
I don't either. I tried something. It didn't really work.
I personally support it.
You support foots in trash cans?
Yeah. You can actually quote me on that.
Okay, put that in the papers.
So next up, we have the biggest news for me that happened in this entire week that made me very happy. But I think there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about whenever it comes to this. We got the final announcement for a Smash character potentially ever in Sora from Kingdom Hearts. I am very happy. Kingdom Hearts, I think I've said this before, that Kingdom Hearts is my favorite game series. So seeing my boy in the game, really, really good. But I am not here to just kind of, yeah, I know what you're looking at, man. But I'm not here just to gloat or anything. I think this is an interesting thing to talk about because, I mean, it's the end of an era, isn't it?
Is it?
Well, yeah,
It's the final
we
one.
we will never see another Smash announcement that means this much ever again. I mean, sure, maybe
To
Nintendo.
you?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no,
less
no, no.
objective.
I'm talking about like these Smash announcements mean something regardless of whether or not you like the character. The announcement of this character is going to be in the game means something. People wait for them. They hope for them.
I mean, we'll definitely never get a Smash Ultimate again, and it's up in the air whether or not the series will get another game, or if they're just going to keep updating Ultimate, or if this is just the end of Smash.
That's what I wanted to talk about because this is the end of an era for Smash Ultimate, definitely. Unless they do decide to do what I kind of hope they do and just keep porting the game and add characters, though that is still difficult because you still do technically need to renew licenses or figure that whole stuff out.
Yeah,
I know that was an issue because there was a lot of licensing issues from the first Kingdom Hearts game because they used the Tarzan characters from the movie, and Disney technically does not own the books. So to release the remasters, they had to do a whole bunch of stuff. But what I think is kind of potentially the nail in the coffin is I do not think Sakurai will ever come back to make a Smash game. I know he's talked about retiring or at least retiring from the Smash franchise and making stuff he wants to do now. And quite honestly, I don't know if a Smash game is really a Smash game without Sakurai. Like Nintendo can make their own Smash, sure, but is it still, you know, is it the same?
I guess we'll have to see.
Look at that new Nick game coming out. The Nick Smash.
That's
Nickelodeon All
still not
Star
Smash.
Brawl.
It's still not Smash.
I mean,
Yeah, I think
It's a clone.
I
Crazy.
would love to have that whole conversation we had, yesterday, 2 days ago, bringing up all of the cartoons that should be in it. That was a good conversation.
Yeah, Nick has had a lot of characters that could fill that roster.
And I don't think they have enough, honestly.
I mean, and we talked about like how amazing it would be if it was Cartoon Network that actually did it instead of Nickelodeon.
Or they did a
Because goodness
crossover.
gracious, they could fill up if they did a crossover, it'd be a shame because you'd have to cut out so many characters. But one thing I'll notice, like of course it sets Smash apart is how polished it is, how I don't know, it just feels so much more whole than like any other fighting game you see. Because I've seen like some gameplay of Nickelodeon All Stars so far, All Star Brawl, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel
It doesn't
as
feel like Smash.
good. I mean, yeah, it
That's
doesn't
how
feel
I
like
feel
Smash.
with
It doesn't feel as
Brawlhalla.
good.
I think Brawlhalla doesn't feel like it's trying to be sort of Smash.
It's trying to be Smash but different, yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely. I don't know. The only thing I see it being like Smash is the small characters in the stage, and that's literally it.
Yeah, a lot of games have tried to replicate Smash's style of like party fighter, you know? You have PlayStation All Stars, you have Brawlhalla, you have now the Nickelodeon game. None of them really have the same feel, and I don't know if maybe it is Sakurai is the person who makes those games, that his influence helps shape the the vibe, but I feel inclined to believe that that is the case from what I've seen and how much he seems to truly care about every single character he gets a chance to put into the game. Which is why I'm concerned that if Nintendo does decide to make another Smash game, whether it be something different than Ultimate and they decide to walk it back, maybe less guest fighters, more of a Nintendo game, more of a Nintendo celebration, where you get less massive characters like a Sora or a Joker from Persona or Banjo Kazooie. I guess Banjo Kazooie could still be argued, but like less of those guest fighters and more Nintendo and friends, I guess. Of you have Nintendo, you have Pokemon, you have all that stuff. I don't know if it'll be the same. Maybe it'll be just that Nicktoons game that you play it and you know it's supposed to be Smash, but it's not Smash. So I don't know what they'll do, but it certainly feels like the end of an era. Feels like something special has kind of come to a close, knowing that at least for 2 to 3 years we won't see another Smash game. Knowing that, I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see big characters come to the game like that.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe we will. Maybe we will see Master Chief come to the game, or what were the other ones people wanted? You had Master Chief, you had the Knight from Hollow Knight, you had
Waluigi.
Crash. I mean, I was trying to say, crossovers, but Waluigi,
Waluigi.
yeah.
Sly.
So maybe Sly. Maybe we'll see that someday. But at least right now, it feels like the end of an era and the end of something special. I know Thank You Sakurai was trending on YouTube and on Instagram and on Twitter after the direct. Everyone trying to thank him for their gratitude. I agree with the sentiment. He very clearly has tried really hard to make this game. It's a shame it has to come to an end, but I don't want to wish that man to keep working on that game for 5 more years after all of the work he's already put in. He has deserved his rest.
No, force the man. Put him at gunpoint. He's gonna make games for the rest of his life. That's what I would say if I was a horrible person.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people already did say that. I didn't see any of it, though I know it exists. I just did not go to the places where I knew it would, because why would I?
All that matters is that I get more game.
That is all that matters. That's the only thing that matters in all of life. I get more game. Me personally, just me.
Newton's fifth law. I get more game.
I get more game.
So, last but not least, we'll probably be talking about this in some capacity in a future episode, but we have the DC fandom coming in a little over a week from when we're recording this, but by the time you hear this, you'll only have a couple days. It happens this Saturday. There's a lot of stuff that they teased in their trailer, as well as a lot of stuff that they didn't. Well, there's one big thing that they didn't put in their trailer that I'm kind of bummed about. But most importantly, the thing they've been really hyping up, it's the thumbnail on the ad. They released some images about it already, is the Flash movie. They've been talking about it a lot. The one that they have Michael Keaton as Batman in as well.
The Keaton verse.
There's a segment in their, teaser for the event because it's going to be 4 hours. It's like a extended direct or an extended kind of E3 conference, I guess. That they were like, so we're gonna, here's like the big games, the big movies, and then big reveals. And they had a whole bunch of actors come out and talk, and one of them was Ezra Miller, who is the actor who plays Flash. They also had the actor who plays Aquaman. They had The Rock, since he's going to be Black Adam, so I'd assume there's going to be some Black Adam news. one of the things that confused me was they were showing a lot of footage from the Supergirl show from CW, but that got canceled. Like it ended. So I don't know why they showed stuff like that, stuff from that show. Maybe they'll merge her into another show. Maybe they're gonna. I know they've been talking about a Supergirl movie, so maybe they're actually gonna keep her as the actress. That'd be cool. I think she's really good as Supergirl.
What I'm excited for, and what I thought you were going to say, because I totally forgot about the Flash movie, is Injustice 3. Now, I don't think it's been confirmed, but people have been speculating a lot of
That
things.
that was not teased at all, so I was not talking about it. But I have heard about that.
Where, like, people there's a lot of, like, ideas for the roster that are, circulating around the internet. I just want the signal. I want, Duke Thomas on there. That's all I really care about. I haven't. I think I've seen like a few different ideas. I don't know if people keep saying leaks. I don't. As far as I know, there aren't like actual leak sources. It's just ideas coming out of like Anti Monitor,
Everyone says that like the
Impulse.
everyone calls rumors leaks nowadays.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't
It's
there's no
weird.
real difference, which makes it difficult to sort through. The thing I'm most excited for that they've actually already kind of released a couple stuff from this. I know Lego released some sets from this today is the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. So they like released images of what their Lego sets are going to be because they always leak those ahead of time. I
Leak
know
or rumor?
well, actual leak. Well,
why,
it's not even a
why did
leak.
you say that
They
like
they
that?
they just
I
release
don't
them.
know.
They just straight up release the images of them. The company does. And then whoever makes the movies hates them for it because they've now spoiled things.
I've been thinking about that movie the past few days. I don't know why. It's just like something I was thinking about that I'm like, when is that movie supposed to come out?
I think it's next year. But I know Robert Pattinson was another one of the actors who was on there. Also the actress who's going to play Catwoman in the movie was one of the actors. So they also I think they released some new images from that movie as well, just images of Robert Pattinson in the costume. I'm really excited for that. I've been waiting for new news about the new Batman movie since the first trailer came out because that trailer was really really good.
New news, not old news.
Yeah, new news.
New news.
I don't whatever. I've been waiting for just anything about that movie. There are some rumors that I heard about what the story is going to be. If those are true, I'm really really excited because it might be way better than I even expect it to be. But right now we're chilling. I'm really excited for that. The other things that I know they're going to talk about are the two games that we have confirmed right now, which are Gotham Knights, which is Warner Brothers Montreal, or is it just? Yeah, I think it's Warner Bros. Montreal is
I
working
believe
on
it's
it.
Montreal. Yeah.
They're the ones who made Arkham Origins, and then Rocksteady, who made all the other Arkham games, are working on the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League game. That has released, I know for a fact, has released some new images of it, but they're all basically just, oh, look at the heroes holding their guns. So it's nothing interesting. But I'm pretty sure they're going to release new information about those games because they haven't since the last Fan Expo, or not Fan Expo, Fandom. So that I'm also interested in because I'm interested in one of those games specifically, not so much Gotham Knights. Though I think we said that if it's good, we'd all play it together because it looks better to play together than by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, most of those types of games are.
Yeah.
I say those types of games. What type of game even is it? I've seen what two trailers they showed of it, like actual gameplay
For
trailers.
Gotham Knights,
Yeah.
it's just
Actually, for this one, we actually took inspiration from the game model of the Avengers game. It's
I hope not. I really hope not.
it's
it's
inspiring.
kind of like that, but admittedly, it looks way way better.
I hope it's good, and if it is, yeah, that'd be really cool to
The only
co-op.
thing is that it's another like event game, you know. Like it's you have to wait for it's another
Game as a service.
games as a service thing.
I mean, that's every
But
game
it
now.
seems, or maybe it's not a games as a service, but it works like a games as a service where you will get random events every now and then, and they're just all pre-built into the game. I know Injustice was kind of like that, or Injustice 2, I mean, where they had pre-built events built into the game, and the only times they'd update them is if they felt like adding some, or if a new movie was coming out, and it's like, you do this event, you can get the outfits from the movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I hope it's good.
But Matt, you wanted to mention something. Is it about the Batman or one of the games or?
Oh no, no, that was it. Was just Injustice 3.
Yeah,
I don't really, I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in the DC cinematic universe right now. I don't have a lot of faith in DC movies.
I don't either, but the
Um,
Batman is separate from that, and that's why it's the only thing I'm interested
I don't
in.
know
how is it
why
separate?
I feel very interested in it too. It seems very like grounded, I guess.
Yeah,
I like that.
which is weird considering how grounded Nolan was, and this feels even more grounded than that somehow.
I don't know, you guys. Starting to feel like that SpongeBob episode with the hooks. I feel like you guys are hooked. I don't trust it.
The
What makes it
SpongeBob
different?
episode with the hooks.
What makes it different for you, Estefano?
I don't know. I just the vibe of the movie makes me. It just
Hopeful.
gives off a better vibe than BVS did, honestly, than Batman v Superman did. It gives off a much better vibe. I have a lot of faith in Robert Pattinson as an actor based off of the things I've seen. I know everyone remembers him from Twilight, but there have been several other movies he's done since then that are phenomenal.
I hear The Lighthouse is very good.
That The Lighthouse I hear is very good. I don't remember what the movie is called, but there's one where he's a bank robber with his brother that I hear is also very, very good. So I have a lot of faith in him. I I don't know what it is. I really don't. There's just a feeling I get in that trailer hit all the right buttons, which is not something I can say for any of the DC extended universe is what I think it's called. The DCEU is what they call it.
Yeah.
Just none of that has given me that vibe except for Shazam I liked, which by the way, he was also on there. I know they announced like the name for Shazam 2 recently, so maybe they'll drop a teaser or something.
I did like Shazam. I watched that one
The
forever
one
ago.
thing that concerns me because they released a poster that had some of the stuff they didn't show, and they also had animated stuff. So Teen Titans Go was on the poster. That
Gross.
like Supergirl, Super Friends show that they have on Cartoon Network was on the poster, and I think one other animated thing was on the poster as well. But Harley Quinn wasn't on the poster. I'm hoping they do something for Harley Quinn season 3. Maybe it's too early. But as a person who's a big fan of that Harley Quinn cartoon show, I hope they at least mention it somehow. But again, it's only 4 hours. They're not really going to do panels like they did last time, it seems. So
Yeah.
I think it's safe to assume if it's not on the poster, it's not going to be there, or it'll only have like a quick mention.
I just want to real quickly go kind of back to the Robert Pattinson thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Matthew asked because of we're hooked, like the SpongeBob hooked episode,
Mm-hmm.
and you were asking why. I honestly heard something, and I have no idea how actual like I guess how real it is, but I heard somebody bring up the idea of it being a mystery, and we just are we have a criminal lack of mystery movies that are good.
It is a mystery movie.
And honestly, a Batman mystery movie where he was just playing the world's greatest detective.
That is
I'm
that is
down.
what it seems to be,
I'm down.
which is what makes me interested in it
Less
because
combat,
all we've
more
gotten
brains.
from
Let's do it.
all we've gotten from Batman movies are action movies, which is fine. You know, that's an aspect of Batman. I'm at least interested to see the attempt at that is being made. I have a lot of faith in the director. The things I've seen of this movie are good. It could still be bad. I've seen things about movies and they look good and then they turn out terrible. I'm
I'm
not
gonna
saying this movie's going to be good, but
I'm going to be putting my money on it being bad. I'm going to officially everyone listening to this stream put $5 down
You owe me. If it's
against
bad.
my $5 that you can all split up.
you can all split up.
Whether or not it's going to be bad or good. I have zero faith.
I'm really interested in this movie. I think a lot of the cast is really good in it as well. But yeah, the rumors do seem to stay. Also, the fact that the Riddler is the villain this time seems to point to this being a mystery of some
I
sort.
hope it's a well-written mystery, one where
That
you can
is
solve it yourself. It's
that is
not just
the
all
that is
convoluted.
the yeah that is the concern
It's the dream.
about a mystery movie is that the mystery is bad.
It's the Enigma show.
But I'm really happy. I'm really interested in it. I am a bit excited now. If they give me a trailer that's like that Doomsday trailer for Batman versus Superman, where it showed the whole movie and it looked bad, I will immediately take back everything I said. But as of now, It's looking good. So we'll see how it turns out. I do think it's coming out next year. I know it got delayed. I think they finished filming because that was one of the movies that they had to stop filming halfway through because of the pandemic. So I think they did wind up finishing, though I know they had to stop because of that, and then they had to stop again because I think a cast member or some crew wound up,
Well,
getting COVID.
you said it's done.
Yeah, I think it's done
Okay,
filming.
I was gonna say that strike
Filming.
might really fuck it up.
Yeah. It is done filming, I believe, or if it's not, it should be close to done filming. But yeah, I'm super interested in it. At the very least, I am interested in it, and we'll see how that goes. Harley Quinn, I'm super excited for. I'm interested in seeing what the Suicide Squad game is. I think those are the big ones. We could probably talk about my feelings about the DC stuff, but I think we can save that until we actually, watch the fandom, see what's going on.
Yeah.
But now moving on to our main topic. Like I said earlier, our main topic is games or movies or shows or any sort of media that we wish we could re-experience for the first time. Does anyone want to go first in particular?
I actually do want to start with something that kind of brought this topic up. I had heard this thought, like posited years ago, and the one that's always brought up, which is why I'm going to bring it up, even though I don't think it's a personal one for me, is Inception. I've heard this topic come up many times, not even just on podcasts, but people just like bring up like the what do they call them, listicles, or like even the videos that are counting down videos, whatever. Yeah, all those are always like, oh, those movies that you should experience for the first time again, or whatever, or try to, or what you'd want to. Inception's always there. I'm not saying that it's mine. I just think it's worth a mention.
I don't know, because usually like complicated stuff like that, I always like having seen it before because then there's something different to explore versus being lost the entire first time I watch it all over again.
Yeah.
Just the So I guess like some of the stuff is fine. Like I think watching Interstellar for the first time would be interesting because that's less Inception-y in its complex stuff. It has its complexity, sure, but it's less you gotta really think about this one.
Yeah, I think Interstellar does a good job of explaining everything to the layman.
Also, going through that sequence in Interstellar where he sees his kids grow up on the screen,
Yeah.
oh, that'd be painful.
I have not seen Interstellar. Or not Interstellar. I've seen Interstellar. I haven't seen Inception.
You've never seen Inception?
Nope.
That was
So
like
I'll
the
be
talk
able
of the
to.
town when it came out.
I remember I watched it in theaters. I didn't understand what was going on because I was a wee lad.
The way you said that, I remember I watched it. So how did you not?
I mean, we must have been. It was talk of the town, but we must have been in different towns because I didn't. I've only ever heard like memes about it. Um, I know that it has something to do with the top. That's about it.
The
Oh yeah,
movie
the
itself doesn't really, but
no, but the cliffhanger at the end kind of does. Maybe we'll watch it someday together.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'd say mine is actually one of a pretty a newer movie. I would love to rewatch Rise of Skywalker for the first time again because it's one of those movies that I know is really stupid, but like the first time I watched it, like it just made me fangirl about Star Wars because it was just all it's just
Fan
all
service the movie.
hmm?
Yeah, just fan service the
Yeah,
movie.
fan service the movie, and I'm the fan. So I'm being serviced through the movie.
are you Matt?
Yes.
I guess I could transition from this because I have another Star Wars one. It is I would like to watch The Force Awakens for the first time again. Be
Okay.
I think of all those movies, Force Awakens is 100% the best and the most consistent. It does a good job putting you back in the world. It does a good job setting up the trilogy, even if the trilogy didn't really go the best after that. But for better or for worse, I really like The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens also has a special place in my heart because The Force Awakens is the movie that made me want to become a writer and make content. It
Yeah.
it it was it was for me what the original Star Wars was for the people who made that movie. you know?
Right. Yeah.
It is the movie that I saw and I was like, I want to do that. I want to make that. And also, whenever I went to go see Force Awakens, I was in probably the best place to probably see it, or I was probably in the best place to see it. I was at Disney World in downtown Disney watching it opening night at the AMC in Disney World with a whole bunch of people dressed up. The theater was screaming over all the cool stuff. It was such an active theater. If like if we also had the rule that we get to like re-experience it in the same
Yeah. The
scenario,
exact same way.
that would be so cool because the crowd was just so lively over everything. Hearing the crowd scream the second you hear the theme song and Star Wars The Force Awakens is on screen, you hear dun da 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 dun, just that scream of just joy on everyone. It's just nothing really matches that.
Mm.
Transitioning into another thing just because it's so easy to do so, I would like to rewatch Endgame, Avengers Endgame. I want to watch Infinity War and Endgame, rewatch those, just because seeing the ending of Infinity War and how much that kind of shakes you is cool. But I want to rewatch Avengers Endgame with a completely different crowd because I watched Avengers Endgame with the most dead crowd I've ever had in my life. The theater was silent whenever he picked up the hammer, was silent whenever he said Avengers Assemble, everyone came through the portal. Me and the dude next to me wanted to scream. I didn't know who this dude was, but we made eye contact and had like the same vibe of I wish this crowd was more lively. We tried to clap at the end of the movie, no one clapped. Just I want I wish I had an actual like cool experience with Avengers Endgame. I had to watch all the like, oh look at these are the like in theater reactions that people have where they don't record the movie but they record the audio
Yeah.
of everyone's reactions. I want to have that for Avengers Endgame because that's such a fun movie, such a fan servicey movie, but actually good, unlike Rise of Skywalker. Um, I would love to have that experience,
I
but I just hogged like 3 of mine, so you guys can go.
I don't. Okay, let me go in order. Okay, so you guys talking about Star Wars. First of all, I would like to forget all the Star Wars movies, and then going on to Avengers.
We will
Out
kill
of
you
here.
for this.
Out of here. You're gone.
Yeah,
You better wear that shirt that says "Don't kill me, I'll pay you."
I would. Yeah. I honestly think that not having watched the Star Wars movies would be a much better excuse for me than just not liking them.
I don't think there's anything bad with not liking them. It's just the way you go about saying that you don't like them sometimes. Because you know me and Matt are here, and you
be
do it out of
you be
spite.
soaking the fire.
You
You
give your
stoke the
opinion while
fire.
I'm in the room.
No, it's not that. It's that you say it with such disdain, knowing we're in the room because you want to irritate us, and that's why it irritates me. It's not the
So it's
fact.
working.
Well, it's working, but for the wrong reason, because it's working not because you're saying you dislike Star Wars. It's working because I know you're doing it to irritate me. So it's working, but for a different reason.
Go ahead, Matt.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were about to give your own 2 cents.
Nah. I mean, Estefano put it pretty straightforward. We already hired 3 hitmen after you. But
So you better pay him
said,
double.
what did you say? I saw red. What was it that you said after the not watching the Star Wars movies?
Oh, I said. I mean, what are you talking about? Like, I was going to move on to Adventures after that, I believe.
Yeah. What were you
That's
gonna?
what I
Oh,
meant.
yeah. So whenever it comes to Avengers, you said that nobody was clapping or cheering. I honestly think that's weird. Like, I understand the whole, like, like whenever you're watching a horror movie or something like that, it's involuntary. But the people that go out of their way to clap, to, like, make over expressive gestures, I guess. I was never exposed to that whenever I was younger going to movie theater. I went to movie theater a lot more whenever I was a kid than I do now. And yeah, the movie theater that I had in Missouri, I'd go see a movie, dead silent the whole
I
time.
mean, I didn't have that experience either. It's just I think there are certain movies that are community movies, that that is acceptable for, or certain moments in movies like the moment where Captain America gets the hammer and then says assemble whenever the entire
That's what
fucking
I'm saying.
squad is behind
That
him.
feels
There are no words being said. You are not interrupting dialogue. That is a moment to just be like,
that feels good.
yeah.
Like if you actually are invested in the. What are you laughing at, Matt?
Captain America, catches the hammer, goes, assemble, clap.
Yeah.
Look at the camera,
Yeah.
clap.
So
Clap.
so like the thing is that's the involuntary thing I'm talking about. Like when you're watching a horror movie and you go, you freak out. Honestly, that was involuntary because I did the same thing. I think I watched Endgame in theaters. I believe I did. And yeah, that sort of situation is like, oh shit, that's all. Like if you're invested in the characters, you can't. It's not really involuntary. I think it's involuntary. But yeah, at the end of the movie, clapping I think is weird.
I just thought the movie was that good. I do that relatively often now. Whenever I see a movie I really like, I clap for it. That actually is a regular thing in I think in Cali they do that all the time just because that's where all the filmmakers are.
Every time I've gone to see a movie, we've clapped after
Yeah.
the
Like,
movie
like
ends.
whenever
And
I,
and
whenever I
that's a
moved to
new thing I've
Texas, that's a
started
big
doing.
thing. But
Oh, I even growing up here, I
oh
didn't get
really?
it either.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just a thing I've started doing recently, but that's just me.
I think it's odd. But then again, it's because I was never exposed to it. I don't think it's like you're a horrible person for clapping for a movie. Actually,
Yeah.
no, I think you're a horrible person for
But
clapping for a movie.
yeah,
How did you know?
I wish I had some reaction in that movie theater because it was so dead and it like
Yeah, I think the whenever he grabs the hammer, like, oh my god, that's so epic. But like, yeah, I get
like
what
I
you're
remember
saying.
I sat up in my seat for that and then everyone was dead quiet whenever it's Captain America and I want to scream and it's like, well now you guys aren't screaming so now I can't because that just makes me weird.
I've never been one for like screaming with my excitement, and I don't know if especially if I'm watching a movie for the first time, it not like to a huge degree, but it annoys me a little when people are overly loud, because it's like I'm watching this for the first time. I'm trying to I'm trying to watch the movie. I'm not trying to watch your reaction to the movie. You know?
Yeah, it's only scenes, like those where it's quiet, there's no dialogue. You're not really interrupting anything.
Well, yeah,
But
but
I'm cool with it.
it's the first time I'm watching the movie. I don't know. You
Oh
know?
yeah, I guess. But like in moments like that, I know it's a fight scene, so I don't care. But it's like if you start talking in the middle of a fucking conversation, go fuck yourself. No.
I don't think that I have like a whole lot of movies. I mean, if you're talking about experiencing again, like bring yourself back there, nostalgia and all that. Road to El Dorado was a pretty good movie.
You
I
guys were
think.
talking about this before. Are you actually bringing this up because you had a good experience watching it, or are you just bringing it up because it's on the mind?
It's just on the mind.
Because you and Matt were singing "It's Tough to Be a
I've
God."
been listening to "It's Tough to Be a God" for the past couple days. That's a good fucking song, written by Elton John. Great.
It was written by Elton John.
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
I believe two or three, hell, maybe even the whole fucking soundtrack was written by Elton John.
What is this, Lion King?
Oh my god. So it was Tough to Be a God and The Trail We Blaze. I know were written by him, but I have no idea if any others were.
I barely remember that movie because I haven't seen it in so long, and the only thing I remember is "It's Tough to Be a God." I don't remember any of the other songs.
That's all. That's all you need. That's all you really need. Like
That's the only
honestly,
like, song.
until I reheard "It's Tough to Be a God" like 5 or so years ago, I didn't know there was music in El Dorado because it'd been so long since I'd seen it.
As far as I remember, there's only one song. I mean, other than
Because
like the Trail We Blaze, but that's not
honestly,
like a diegetic
yeah,
song.
yeah.
maybe it's just because I
singing.
was too young whenever I watched it, but it just was not memorable for me at the time.
I fucking-
Maybe
I ate that
maybe
shit
maybe if I watched it now, I'd love it way more. But I think I might have just been too young. You know,
It's
I
just on the mind.
I might not have been that proper age. I might have watched it when I was like 3 or 4, and things don't stick in your mind too much yet.
Yeah, it's just on the mind. I don't remember the first time I watched that movie. It's just recently I've been listening to that song. Good song. Go listen to
Honestly,
it.
I barely remember any DreamWorks movie that is not one of the like 3D ones, like Madagascar and Shrek and stuff. I barely remember any of those.
Uh, moving to a different movie, Kung Fu Panda 2.
Oh my god.
God, I'd love to rewatch that. Granted, I can watch it as many times as I want. Now it's still the same entertainment, but I'd love to watch that again newly. God, I fucking love that movie. That is an amazing movie. Recommend.
I feel like whenever it comes to the topic of things you wish you could experience for the first time, a lot of times it's things that have a twist. So like honestly, Knives Out. That's a pretty good one to like never having seen it, knowing nothing about it. Let's watch it. That's pretty good. any other mystery movies, I'd imagine.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
anything with a twist, like an Infinity War, where at the end everyone starts dying, and you're like, oh fuck,
Hoodwinked.
no.
It was the rabbit. What?
Be
Spoiler alert.
prepared. Be prepared.
Yeah, no, I don't want to experience that one again.
The amount of
I
times,
don't.
the
I don't
amount of
want to
times
forget
Matthew
about
and
that one.
the
I don't
amount
want
of
to forget about it.
the amount of times that Matthew and I have tortured you with with the Be Prepared
I don't have
song.
a problem with it. I do have a problem with you singing the whole thing just off the cuff whenever we're playing video games.
Because I know it by memory.
I'm totally
I
fine
will
with you
say
bringing it up.
I have a problem anytime we sing, like anyone prompts the singing of any song over Discord, because we can't sing together on Discord.
No, yeah, we're like out of sync.
There's a little bit of latency.
Yeah. What was I about to say? There's a. Oh yeah. Well, now it's a show. Anybody have any movies on their list that they still want to get
No,
out there?
honestly, I had trouble thinking of shows. I guess maybe Stranger Things because that has a twist, but that's the only thing I could think of.
What a twist.
I've
Oh.
got some shows.
Got you. Well then, yeah, we can just move on to shows real quick. Mine are two anime to start off.
Of course.
Sword Art Online was the first anime I ever watched.
Weeb.
And at the time I didn't know it was trash. But I would love to watch that shit over and over again as a new, no context, no knowledge of how good it is before, because I enjoyed the shit out of that before I knew what anime could be. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was the video game world. It was meant to, it was made to. It attracted, me based off of that idea of like the Matrix, but it's a video game.
I thought of one
And
because I'm a
secondly,
masochist.
What?
Angel Beats.
God, fuck off.
If I could rewatch Angel Beats and just have that experience over again, because watching that show is never going to be the same.
Right.
For one, I cannot listen to the outro of that anime without starting to cry
Right.
because of the significance that outro has in the last episode. Like I hear it and I start to cry. My younger cousin kept doing that to me. He kept randomly playing it and I would burst into tears. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "You don't understand, man."
Yeah, no, I'm very fine with not having to experience that.
Like I said,
again.
I'm a masochist. For some reason, I really like things that make me cry. Maybe it's just because it shows the quality of them, that they made me feel such strong emotion. But man, Angel Beats is powerful,
You
bro.
can keep that.
You can keep that. I don't know. Like,
I still think you cried, Matt.
I didn't.
You can keep lying to me all you want.
there were onions nearby that his mom was cutting.
I saw what I saw.
The only I can't think of like a show that's ever made me cry. The only like thing that I can think of that's like even close to a show that made me cry was like The Walking Dead season 1. The ending of that got me. But Angel Beats did not defeat me.
That's
Are-
actually
are-
really surprising that because I don't watch anime, but I do know Angel Beats is a lot heavier
Yeah.
than The Walking Dead, so that's really surprising to me.
I mean, that's cuz Angel Beats is a different type of sad.
Oh yes, it is.
But the other anime I had is Death Note, just because like I don't know, I fucking loved that the first time I watched it. I haven't like gotten to sit down and watch. I watched it a few times over, like a while back. I haven't gotten to sit down and watch through it again, but I just want to, I want to watch through it, newly again, and then like have some cosmic force tell me to stop just before the last episode, and imagine my own last episode. The show is fire.
That makes sense.
I have Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'd love to experience that all whole fresh new. Like the thing is, learning more about it, learning more about the creation of it, and about the influences they had is great and all. But I don't remember the first time I watched those episodes. But I do know
Yeah.
the feeling. I don't remember the exact day. But I do remember the feeling of not having watched all of them in sequence because, you didn't have a streaming service to watch them all
Yeah,
in back then.
I had that experience whenever I bought the collection of Avatar and Korra for my mom for I think it was for Mother's Day.
And then watching them all.
And I watched them all and I thought I hadn't seen the entire show. And there were definitely bigger chunks in season or in book 3 that I had not seen that much. But watching book 1 and book 2, there was a lot of stuff that I'm like, I remember this episode. Or I don't remember what happens in this episode, but You know when you have that tickle in the back of your brain
The
that you're
vibe.
like, I've seen this before.
Yeah,
I'd seen a
Yeah.
lot of those episodes. I just did not remember it. I just remembered the moments, you know.
I get that.
So I was able to kind of have that experience again, where there were certain things that I knew would happen, but I didn't actually know because like I'd kind of forgotten, so I half knew.
You just, oh my god, you just pushed something into my head with that. So, talking about knowing you've seen something before, I, oh my god, I was looking through a lot of.
Matthew and I are looking at each other very concerned right now.
You should be.
You that just makes us think it's gonna be worse than it is.
I was looking through a whole bunch of old animations that like I didn't remember watching, but was after I watched
What do
like
you mean old animations?
after I
bro?
watched Has Been Hotel, I started to look at other things,
Oh, okay, okay.
And Gooseworks, who did the music for that, made this thing called Little Runmo. That
Oh, the
is
thing that Matt posted in the
most
Discord.
terrifyingly
One of the
like
best videos.
innocent thing. It's not innocent. I shouldn't say it like that. When I clicked on it, I was like, I feel like I've seen this. I started watching it and I'm like, have I seen this? And the moment
How long is the Rummo again? Is it like half an hour?
no,
it's like 15 minutes or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's
So
like
much
15 minutes.
effort had to be put into
Oh yeah,
that.
definitely.
It took
It's
years.
very
It took
well
2
done at
years
least.
for Gooseworks to make that.
It's well done at least.
I watched that again, and it took until the Meatball
Meatball
Man
Man.
for me to realize, oh yeah, I've fucking seen this before.
Yeah, because Matt drilled the Meatball Man into your head.
Drilled the Meatball Man into your fucking head. And I was like, okay, yeah, I've definitely seen this before. But also, because of that, something else got recommended to me called Double King.
Yes.
That one, I was like, I saw the picture on the thumbnail and was like, I think I've seen this before. Same thing with Little Runmo. Clicked on it, and as it was going, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. And I kept watching because I was so intrigued with where it was about to go next. I don't remember that shit. It's a fever dream the whole way through,
Absolutely.
but it's spectacular.
Oh god. Okay, hold on. I have to like. I'm gonna store something else for later. But when you were about to when you're doing the build up to talk about Rome, you said old animation, and it reminded me of a line from a show. I think you guys remember it. No money means no animation. I would love to watch Chowder again.
Chowder for the first time.
That would be
Oh my
insane.
god, yes. Not knowing what that show has in store for you is the only way to watch that show,
Right.
honestly. Oh man,
Also-
that is such a good show.
One reaction that I would love to get I would love to experience again. One reaction from another person I'd love to experience again is from Quentin. And being that we're friends, I love him like a brother. I would never make him go through this again. But what I would like to experience
Shut
with
up.
him again
Shut
is
up.
a YouTube video.
Shut up. Don't
I don't remember the
fucking
title
say
of
it.
it, but he already knows which one I'm talking about.
Don't you fucking say it.
God, how does that? I don't remember
Shut
how
up.
it starts. I was like, "Hey, it's a nice grill."
I want you to know I was in class.
Oh my god.
I was in class when you posted that in the Discord, and I just started watching it. Well, I wasn't in class. I was my class was about to start in 5-6 minutes, and that video is 3 minutes. I went into class thinking about that video because of you. It was my creative writing class. I had to write about stuff after what you did. That video is so weird, bro.
I had to live after that video was shown to me, Matthew. How could you? How dare you? Show it to me on my deathbed.
Show
Why?
it to you. Bet.
The fact I have to continue going on with this consciousness is really just the worst part of the whole situation.
Yeah, where at any point Matthew can bring up, "Hey, is that a grill?" and it immediately gets put back into your brain and you relive your trauma.
God, that was. I wish I remembered that video as well as I remember some of the other videos of what's said.
It's the funny thing is that I have the memory of that video without remembering what that video was as well, kind of like you did, where I started to remember, I'm like, oh, it's that weird video he posted in the Discord, and Quentin got so mad.
I'll go ahead and look it up for the viewers so that
Quentin
you're not wondering exactly what we're talking about. But I will warn you that
Quentin just has a face of just pure just trauma right now. He's just frozen in place right now.
it messed him up.
I remember that I've watched that video one time and I remember it more vividly than my day today.
Okay, it's
Are you
called
serious?
"That's a Nice Grill" by the Minute Hour. If you wish to check out this cursed video, it's 4.5 minutes, 4.5 terrifying minutes.
Do you seriously remember it that vividly?
The animation is not something you can forget. Like it's.
I mean,
it's,
I forgot
the
it.
frames are so deliberate that it sticks.
He just has this. He's having a Vietnam flashback, is what Quentin's having right now.
Some flashback. I'm sorry, Quentin.
No, you're not. You brought it up for a reason.
I'm sorry now. Listen, I've established that if I could get that same first time reaction from him, I would. I'd never put him through this again. If I could get just the reaction.
This is a laugh of insanity.
This is his Joker movie.
We grill in a society.
We grill in a society. You're fired. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all I have for the animations and stuff. I don't know if anybody else had a show. Quentin?
I mean, another one that I just thought of that I think is really memorable for me. I've mentioned it before. The Mystery Incorporated Scooby Doo show. That's a really good one. I think the ending of that show really memorable. Some really cool twists. So I'd love to re-experience that again. Granted, there's like one filler episode in that show, and it is the worst episode I've ever seen. And if there's one thing I would want to know, it's to skip that episode. Because that show,
just like my Cosmic Force had told me to miss the last episode of Death Note.
that show is top tier except for that one episode.
Well, I mean, yeah. If that show's out of the way, I actually have an interesting one that I hadn't really thought about until now. Music. I would like to listen to Ultralight Beam by, I think it's by, he's famous. What's his name? Hold on. By Kanye West. Because that song hits hard. You know, I'm not even religious, but that song just
There's only one
hits on another
song
level.
by Kanye West that I want to hear again. Scoopity poop. Poop de
God
scoop de poop. It's the only Kanye West song I think I've actually heard in its entirety, like from start to finish. I've heard other Kanye West songs, but I don't
Ooh.
think I've heard them like all the way through, you know? Like they've just been playing and I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
Then I move on.
This Is America. I listen to that again. As much as I love like how much I know like the dances and all the words to that song, it'd be fun to listen to that.
I feel
for
like
the
that's
first
more
time again.
because of the music video than the song itself, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I
It's
don't
the entire
know.
experience.
I
Oh,
don't.
Sorry,
I don't
I'm
know
coming
if
up
there's
with one after
any.
another.
I don't know if there's any music I'd really say. I think music's kind of different for me.
Well, I mean, if we consider music videos along with the music. then,
Oh
like,
yeah,
This Is
that's true.
America. Pillow Talk by Lil Dicky. Just to experience the absurdity of that with no context again would be beautiful for me.
Like whenever like the brain just starts walking in and starts talking.
Brain gotta poop.
Okay,
Quentin's still having his
I
flashback.
I think I've recovered.
Followed by silence. He has not yet recovered.
He said, "I think I recovered," and then his face just froze.
I do have music. This is something I was thinking about.
Matt, you've actually given a man PTSD, is what you've done.
Listen, all right.
That
I had to get it off my chest.
that video needs to never exist.
I think it's so funny that you and I send each other such awful, terrible things.
Cursed stuff.
And this one thing is all it took to traumatize Quentin. Imagine if he saw the stuff that you and I send to each other because we know it's cursed.
I don't know. Because like I've seen some pretty bad stuff.
Listen,
I
there
say
was a
that like I'm a
TikTok.
fucking Vietnam vet. I don't
There,
fucking.
listen, there was a TikTok that Matt sent me. I'm not gonna tell you what it was about because Matt just knows. Me saying there was a TikTok, Matt already knows what he sent me. Absolutely not. I got so angry at him for sending me that shit.
I'm not gonna argue that. I don't believe you, but I'll say okay.
I can show you the receipts.
Receipts.
I'm not gonna show you the video because I don't want to do that to you. But I will
I
show you the receipts of me getting angry at
I
him.
will just say that video in particular was on such a wavelength to my amygdala that now it is a irrational fear. Just the thought of it. It,
Matthew,
it feels
Matthew,
like a
I
childhood
think
trauma.
My man gained 20 insight from that.
Matthew, there are a lot of things that the three of us individually and collectively have done that may or may not s- have us wind up in hell. But if there's one thing that any of us have done, you've given a man PTSD. I think you might actually go to hell for that one.
Call me when you want, call me when you need, call me in
Are
the
you really gonna
morning,
start
I'll
saying
be on
"Call
the
Me by
way.
Your Name" right now? Honestly, that's a video you could rewatch.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it
Is there
hits as
something
hard
about it that like
initial
you should
experience.
need to have not experienced it
I just
before?
think
Yeah.
it's very, very memorable, very interesting. I remember when I watched it for the first time, I was like, what is this? I've never seen a music video like this.
My music.
Granted, I typically don't really listen to rap or R&B, so I'm sure there are videos that are similar to that. I just haven't seen them.
The music one that I was thinking about, which I didn't actually have like thought of prior to this. I just thought of it while we were talking about, I think, the movies. Honestly, whenever you were talking about how you'd like to go to the exact experience, because you remember, how it was with Star Wars.
Yeah, Force Awakens.
Yeah, and you wanted to go back to that exact experience. Whenever Matt was driving me to work one day, and the night prior, No Straight Roads came out with the Christmas album. And we were driving to my work, which was 20, 30 minutes away. So we got to listen to almost the entire thing. It was like the first half at least. And it was 5 in the morning, jamming out in the car. I remember that morning quite well. And I hope that I carry that the rest of my life because that was an experience, Matt.
Oh, most definitely. I was gonna bring up No Straight Roads in general next as well.
No
Too.
Straight Roads in general is great, but that experience of just like I've never had an experience. I've heard people having it. I've heard people feeling this way before. I've never felt it. Where you're in the car and like your uncle, your brother, your sister, your mother, whoever, shows you music, whether a genre or some type of niche, an artist that just speaks to you on such a level,
Yeah,
and you remember that moment that it happened because it spoke to you on that level.
You
absolutely.
when you said speaks to you to that level, you lost me because I was just thinking about like memorable moments when you're with your family, just singing in the car. The amount of times I've had that with Matthew, I guess we can kind of transition this into something that is kind of music but kind of not. The amount of times Matthew and I have started just singing and rapping Hamilton in the car. Those are
Yeah.
some of my favorite moments with Matthew ever because we are on the same wavelength. We vibe. We don't even need to like tell each other who's going to be what character. We just know.
Yeah, but that's independent
Oh
of
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
song
So
you're listening to. I'm talking about the music built the experience. The
well, yeah,
experience would
that's
not have been there.
that's why I
I
said it's different.
I'd say Quentin, I've experienced that once before.
I've never had that.
On top of that experience, that was that's why Ultralight Beam is on my list, because the first time I experienced it, and yes, I was high, but I was also just in a car with a bunch of college friends in the back seat, and I don't know, it just like the music was just
Just connected.
connecting
Yeah,
on like a soul level.
that's
It was insane.
that's how it was with No Straight Roads. I mean, it sounds silly because it's a video game soundtrack, but video game soundtracks are great.
Yeah, they can
And
hit.
the fact that it was the Christmas
It's still
one,
music.
and we knew the regular No Straight Roads soundtrack. And so whenever the Christmas stuff started come up, like there's the parts where the bells come in that are playing,
Yeah,
like fucking jingle bells while they're doing their regular,
it's crazy.
song, and we're just sitting there like, are those fucking bells? Like we're like freaking out, like, oh shit, like how they implemented it, how they merged the feeling of Christmas with these songs that are regular EDM, stuff, I guess,
Yeah.
is so fantastic. And yeah, I remember that morning, and I mean, I hate mornings, but I do hope that I remember that one for the rest of my life.
I've never had that experience. Like I've connected and vibed with music, but never to that extent. Or maybe I
Mm,
have, and I just don't view it as something as big as you guys because I've had many moments like what I'm thinking about. But the way you describe it sounds different. So I'm not going to claim that I've had that experience. I don't think I've had that before just yet. I've had a lot of experience just vibing with music and sometimes something clicks, but it's never been to that level, you know. It's just like, "Oh fuck, this is a really good song." Like whenever Matt and I are vibing in the car or we'll get to it. Music from another game. We'll get to it. It's on my list for games.
Well, if we do you have another one for music, Matt?
not that I can think of now.
Are
I
there any musicals for you, Matt?
Ooh, Hades Town.
Oh man,
I listened to that again.
I honestly
I
don't think
do.
listening to it, having forgotten it would really add anything for me. But yeah, I do like that track.
I would do Dear Evan Hansen just because of how much I connect to that just on an emotional level, like the story of that. There's a lot of lyrics in those some of those songs. Some of them are silly, like introducing me. But like a lot of the more serious songs. I remember whenever I first like heard Waving Through a Window cuz I'd heard of Dear Evan Hansen cuz they always do the new musicals performed during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That was my first exposure to it. So I was like, let's listen to the whole musical. And Waving Through a Window is the second song. I listened to it for the rest of the day
Um,
because I connected with it just in terms of like this song is me. You know, I
yeah.
feel the same way as this. So
The my introduction to it actually was a friend of mine named Garrett introduced me and another friend named Harris to one of the songs. I forget.
is it
Sincerely
introducing
me.
me?
Sincerely me.
Oh yeah, it's in Sincerely Me. Introducing Me is from Camp Rock 2, the final jam.
Thank you for that. Wikipedia.
I, but
Listen,
he
listen,
introduced us to us, and like
listen. Introducing Me is a fire song. Fuck you.
within a week, all three of us were singing that in the car, all with our own parts. It was beautiful, and then like listen to the whole musical. Granted, that's not on my like list because I think knowing the songs is what makes the experience for me, and that's with a lot of things because I love singing and performing. So
My sister's hot. What the hell?
my bad.
I don't think I have any that are show tunes because like whenever it comes to those, yeah, I think yeah, it's definitely enhanced whenever you know the lyrics if you want to sing along to it, and also whenever it comes to those songs, a lot of them I didn't like for a while. Like with Hades Town, it took me a long while listening to those songs for me to actually feel like, okay, yeah, the majority of them are good. Because when I first heard them, I liked three. I liked like three of them. I was like, these are pretty good. And I could only listen to those three. And then I don't know what it was, but something clicked one day that those other songs started to actually feel kind of good.
That just happens sometimes. I have that all the time with a lot of different music, which is why whenever I listen to albums, sometimes I like a couple months later I try to re-listen to the album, see if any songs just all of a sudden now click for me. I've had that with a lot. Honestly, I have some personal favorite songs that were like that, or some of the songs from AJR's most recent album, OK Orchestra. I think I liked about maybe half of that album when it first came out. Now I'm pretty sure I like every single song. Well, I like all the songs, but I think of the ones that I put in my playlist and listen to actively, I like all of them except for one.
Yeah, that's how I was with Caravan Palace as well. I didn't like a lot of their songs, but for some reason they got stuck in my head. Like, so the next day, I was like, I have to listen to it again, even though it's trash, even though I don't like it. And it grew on me. And maybe that's parasitic. Maybe that's bad. I don't know. For them, not for me. Fuck them. They shouldn't have done that.
How dare they make
How
me enjoy
dare
something?
they make an enjoyable song? What the nerve of
The
some
nerve that they would ever
people. The
entertain me.
unmitigated gall.
I don't want to make waves.
We're gonna talk about experiences all over again.
Shut
Watching
up.
that movie
that
with
wasn't
you
the first
guys.
time we watched that movie. Come on.
I didn't remember that movie though.
Neither did I.
I remember so much of that movie.
I just watching that movie with you guys. That was an experience.
We're talking about the Grinch, by the way. We had an experience.
Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Yeah, no, not Dr. Seuss's.
No. Honestly, I want to see what our reaction would be if we watched The Cat in the Hat, because that movie's even more bonkers than The Grinch.
Oh,
are
that
three
would
Grinch
be
movies.
amazing.
Just the level of riffing we could do with that one. Oh no.
The thing was, I was actually trying to watch The Grinch, and then you guys just kept going and going and going, and I was annoyed with it at first, and then I was like, you know what? This is actually pretty fucking good. This is so much better than if I just watched the movie.
Because the movie is not good, Quentin. It's not. It's hilarious.
Hey.
It's hilarious.
Hey, calm down now. It's Jim Carrey we're talking
That's
about.
Jim Carrey we're talking.
Jim Carrey is good. Everything else about that movie is
That
not so
entire
good.
movie is Jim Carrey and then some little girl.
What was the bit we had that she was some eldritch being
Not
controlling
an eldritch
everything?
being. She was like the oh fuck, what would you call it? The CCCP or some like
She was the
government
leader.
organization that
Yeah.
she's controlling everything secretly.
There were just so many like things that just didn't add up about
So
her.
many
Like she would just pop up
coincidences.
at different places. She was scaling mountains in a matter of minutes to talk to the Grinch. Are you kidding me? She had no fear. Like I feel like she definitely had some sort of weapon on her when she went to see the Grinch. That's why she just didn't give a shit. Or she's just master in CQC. Like, you kidding me? The little girl, she's an agent of some sort.
Is this going to become the Grinch podcast now?
No,
Are we going to talk about that for a little while?
we have to make one though.
We can definitely give. We can just
Grinch
give,
commentary?
We can just give Matthew a mic and say go. And then 20 minutes later,
Well,
we have a video.
the thing is that I don't think it was even just Matthew. I think it was all of us. Because the thing is, some of Matthew's best bits are because he had us and then popped off of us and said something way funnier than any of the rest of us could think of. So I think it has to be all of us, where some of us come up with gold, and then more often than not, some of us come up with something small, and then Matt's like, "I'm gonna take that a step further."
You know, I'm gonna go rewatch the Grinch at some point and then
Done.
just write up an hour long
Oh, okay.
video.
If that's what you're gonna do, then yes, do that.
Write up an hour long video about the conspiracy that is being hidden behind Cindy Lou Who.
The conspiracy of Cindy Lou.
Yeah.
Where are you, Christmas?
Oh my god. Yeah, so let's not say that movie because we don't want to forget that movie, right?
No,
Right.
well, I mean, if it means we get to experience it for the all over again, that moment, absolutely, I'll forget it.
That was really good. That day was pretty good.
But so what are we at next? Are we at games next?
Games, books. If y'all
Books.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I did have a few because like whenever it comes to books, so obviously like I said with the movies, mysteries. I've read very few mysteries, but the ones that I have, that'd be amazing to not know who the killer is, I guess. They're not always killers, but the person who done it. I do think that would be a lot better because I do enjoy the prospect of reading books over again. The problem being that books to me feel a lot more like everything in them. That's personal to me, I guess. I'll forget movies, shows, video games, but I will not forget books. I really wish I could because then I could read them over again and experience them new all over again. But I still remember all of the major plot points. I might need some reminding, but I remember all the major plot points from all the books I've read whenever I was like 10 years old.
I remember plot points, sure, but there's definitely stuff I forget about books. I think whenever I read them a second time, it's over. I think I might forget certain things, but I'll definitely remember other stuff.
I tried rereading Percy Jackson,
Percy Jackson
and I remembered
is
all
on my
the
list.
shit. So
There was a lot of stuff I forgot about Percy Jackson the second time I read it because I read through them all a second time randomly. I don't think it was even for any. Actually, no, there was a reason. It was I wanted to fill space in like those reading logs we had to do in school, so I reread them. But I'd love to reread those books because I remember really, really loving them. And there are a lot of things that I remember about those books now that I did not remember the second time that I think would be better if I forgot. There's also another series that I like. It's pretty obvious why I like it. It's called Kingdom Keepers, and it's very Disney centered. I really wish I could reread those books because there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool cameos. I really like the Disney parks. Those books are entirely set in the parks with this really cool premise.
so if you forgot it, would you have to forget the Disney parks too, or
No, because part of the fun for me is I know
knowing?
the layout of the parks, so I know where they're going. The only thing is, if you read those books now and then try to go to Disney World, so much stuff has changed.
Mm. I think the only books I can think of that would be cool to re-experience again. I think it's mostly nostalgia, sort of driving this choice. But the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, those were like a good portion of my childhood.
I feel like I'd like to
never got into
re-experience
those.
them as a kid.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like nostalgia is definitely driving it. If I could re-experience them as a kid, that'd be cool.
I never got into those. At the time, everybody was talking about those books. I was reading the Captain Underpants books.
Captain Underpants books were
Respect.
fire.
Oh man, that was a trip. There's another one I'm trying to think about. There's another one. Fuck. I cannot remember what it is. I'm sure I might later on when we're talking about video games or some shit. There's another book that I really liked. I'm pretty sure when I was younger that I wish I could forget to reread. I'm trying to run over all the books I read. Oh, you know what? I just remembered it. And actually, it wasn't when I was a kid. I wish I could reread, and this is going to be weird, but Animal Farm.
I never read Animal Farm.
I read it in high school when we were supposed to be reading The Great Gatsby. I was like, fuck this book. Which, again, yeah, fuck Great Gatsby. I hate that book. but I do really like Animal Farm, and honestly, I knew it was a political commentary before I started reading it, and I really wish that I didn't. I think it's a lot more interesting reading a political book that isn't just here's my philosophy, but it's an actual like story and narrative.
Yeah.
I think it's really a lot more interesting reading that without knowing it's supposed to be political.
I remember whenever we read The Jungle in high school and I didn't know it was political. I thought it was actually about a jungle, and then I was like, what the fuck is this going? Why are they in a city, bro?
Yeah, if you can like internalize
The
it.
concrete jungle.
Like what is happening here? Why is he poor in a city? Why is he from some
Why is he poor in a city? That doesn't happen ever.
well, like why is he a poor dude? He's living in this city. He's from some Russian or something country. All of a sudden they start talking about socialism and I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I think maybe it depends on the book, or maybe I'm wrong just in its entirety. But I think,
As always.
thank you, one of my most valued friends. So I do think that if
I wouldn't be one of your most valued friends if I didn't give you a hard time every now and then.
I think that whenever it comes to Animal Farm, if I didn't know it was political philosophy, or I did know and just read it again, because honestly, when I first read it, that was a pretty good experience, not reading The Great Gatsby. Maybe that had something to do with it.
Not reading Great Gatsby.
I remember I was in class one day reading, it's a very small book. So I started it like the day before, and it literally is not even a full day read. Like, it is a very short book. And I started reading it the night before, went into class the next day, and we had to read Great Gatsby in class. Like, that was the entire day's project, was if you didn't finish Gatsby, read the rest of Gatsby. And I was still reading Animal Farm. The teacher comes over to me and is like, "Are you reading Animal Farm?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Are you finished with Gatsby?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "That's the assignment." And I'm like, "Okay."
Why didn't you
damn
just
it.
lie and say that you finished?
Because then she would have been
It's
like, "Okay,
Quentin.
so what happened at the very end?" And I'm like, "They fucking die." And she'll be like, "Who?" And I'm like, Wait, I was half right.
Gatsby.
I was half right. Oh wow. Yeah, I eventually did read Gatsby, and yeah, it's a trash book.
I think the movie is better, is what I heard.
I mean, I'm not a fan of the movie either.
That'd be a first.
I just think the story's not very interesting.
But yeah, if that's books, video games, let's go ahead and get this out the way.
Persona 5.
I mean, I was gonna go even further back. Slide 2 and Slide 3. Let's get them out the way. Except we have like
Slide 2 and Slide 3.
some shot of.
need-
We get a shot of like insight.
Okay,
for
okay. I was
the-
like, do you need to not have experienced that before?
No.
I don't need to, but
I
God, I'd love
heavy
to.
disagree because honestly, I think Sly Cooper is better now than it was when I was a kid. The
No.
fact that I have you two to just spitball lines with all the time, that one of us can just randomly go, "This is a lemonade bar," and we all know what we're talking about.
I will
and
bend these bars like the truth.
No one knows what we're
Beautiful
talking
guns
about.
Destroyed. Good thing I got
Got
a
to
spell.
stay upstairs.
But no, but the introduction, like magical introduction to the world of Sly Cooper, I would love to experience that again because that was so good. Like it hooked me instantly as a kid.
I
and
played
I'd
the
love to
first. I
experience it
played
again.
the second game first.
Same here. I think we.
I played the first one first.
Oh yeah.
And then I played the third. Didn't even like think about the second one.
And you're like, why the fuck is Bentley in a wheelchair?
Yeah,
You know there.
I didn't even question it. I was just like, yeah.
You know there are three Sly. There are three Sly games. No. The second one's called 3 because it's the third stage of Sly.
It's the third.
Are we going back to the Fallout example? I
my
was thinking
God.
about that the other day.
I like that story. Like even though it shows how stupid I am, I like that story.
But no, I would love to experience that game again. Again, I get you get a flash of insight when you're about to do the bug mission in Rajan's world. But other than that, you're fully.
God,
What are you
fuck
talking
that
about?
mission.
You just book it all the way to the fucking
I'm about to
end.
That
Poke my
mission's
foot up your-
so bad.
Oh, what's that, Matt?
So bad. It's so
You
awful.
just book it all the way
Along
to
that-
Rajan's office.
Along that line, Estefano, I'm curious as to your feelings on Kingdom Hearts. I know you probably have your own list, but I do want to know.
Kingdom Hearts is on my list.
Okay.
You'd want to experience it over again.
I
Without
want to
knowing.
experience. Yeah, I would like to do that. Not now, but as a kid, because I feel like now perhaps the magic would be lost on me. You know, I mean, I still love Disney, but just the experience. I grew up with the series because the first game came out when I was 4. I only know that information because I was talking to someone about it earlier today. Because we were talking about Smash characters, and they were talking about how happy they were when Sephiroth was announced, and I was talking about Sora, and they're like, "Well, Sora was your childhood, and Sephiroth was mine." But Disney's always been special in my life. It's been special to my family. We love Disney movies. We love going to the parks. That's been
Yes,
something.
we love our Disney overlords.
I don't love the overlords. I like the content that the people working for said overlords produce. I would just like that stated. If people think I'm not going to criticize Disney for their decisions, they're wrong. Honestly, I'd argue I criticize Disney more than other people, but I actively avoided putting a story about the new CEO versus the old CEO in the news segment because I'm like, no.
I mean, it's like the entire like phenomenon of whenever you find someone who like has their favorite game, like they play their favorite game. Like if you find someone who really loves Destiny, you're like, is it a good game? No, it's trash. But I love it.
Yeah,
It's my favorite.
I love the stuff Disney produces, but Disney is ultimately a very, very bad company. That being said, I really, really love Kingdom Hearts. It was really special to me as a kid just because, I mean, seeing these characters interact and the fact that so many of them are the original voices or pretty damn near close that a kid isn't going to realize. Playing the Mulan world in Kingdom Hearts 2, a lot of the voice actors came back, but obviously Eddie Murphy didn't because it's Eddie Murphy. You think he's going to voice in a video game. But the person who's doing the impression is close enough that as a kid I didn't know it was wrong. So I'm like, that's Moshu. So just that experience, I would really love to have that again. I think that's something really near and dear to my heart. Similarly, Persona is the adult me version of that, which is why I said it so quickly. Also, because that was the thing I was referencing earlier when I was talking about music. Because if I were to listen to that soundtrack all over again, just experiencing it through the game, oh my god, it's so
Yeah,
good.
having never heard that would be amazing, honestly. Like going back into it.
Yeah, it's that game, the twists that game does, just the way that game starts with Shiho that I'm not going to get into because I really want people to experience it. So I'm not going to say anything except her name because you guys now know what I'm talking about. Just that beginning section, experiencing that over again, where I played it because my cousin was staying with us and he loved Persona 5. So I played it on his console and he loves watching people play games he's played before. So experiencing that moment and just me going, oh, fuck. Just like I audibly gasped when that happened because I'm like, did that just happen in a video game?
Yeah, I didn't believe that they showed it because I think you were talking to me about it or I saw something about it.
I think I mentioned it.
Yeah, and I didn't expect them to show it as a scene. I thought it would be like in passing sort of like, oh, that time this thing happened. And then I was like watching Matt play, and and I'm like, what the fuck is about to happen, Matt?
Matt?
And yeah. So that not knowing any of that
Like
happened. Yeah,
stuff like that is that game has a lot of heavy moments.
I'm just thinking about hearing Last Surprise, never having heard
You
that
never
intro.
see it coming.
I mean, yeah, that's great too, but the whole dun dun dun
Dun,
dun
dun, dun,
dun
dun, dun,
like
dun, dun.
it tells you what's going down the moment that track starts.
Give in to temptation.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see that.
That one,
Experience that again.
yeah. Experiencing the
Wasn't my
soundtrack
best singing.
again.
I think my voice is going out.
Oh man, that would be amazing. I hadn't even thought about that, but I'm going to piggyback off yours. Yeah, I feel the same way.
There's a
I don't want to say that I wish I experienced the whole thing again because I don't want to play another 100-hour fucking
I didn't mind it,
turn-based
and that's why it's on
game.
my list. I knew for a fact it'd be the experience and not the gameplay for you guys if you guys felt that way.
Yeah, it's definitely like the experience. I wouldn't want to go another 100 hours into that shit, but yeah.
Do you guys have any? Or Matt, Quentin, do you have any? Because you piggybacked off mine, but I don't know if you have
Hollow
any of
Knight.
your own. Hollow Knight?
Hollow Knight is just like the mystery games and the mystery movies.
Because it's a... What are they called?
Metroidvania. The Metroid-like, Vania-like, rogue-like. It's not rogue-like.
Souls like, born like.
Souls-like, born-like.
People actually did use
The
Born like.
Mario-like, the Doom-like.
I mean, that it's now called Soulsborne. Like
Yeah.
that is a genre.
Yeah.
So it was
So
also used after James Bourne came out, or not James Bourne, Jason Bourne came
Jason
out, and
Bourne,
everyone was
yeah.
comparing every movie to Jason Bourne,
the
including
born-like.
Casino Royale, the James Bond movie after that.
Yeah,
They're like, this
yeah.
is just are you doing Jason Bourne now?
So Hollow Knight, because of going through that world, not knowing where everything is, because the way that it's set up is that you go into it and there's no map. You're just walking around like I don't know where the fuck anything is.
I remember I was watching a streamer play Hollow Knight because I played a bit of the beginning, and they started doing stuff, and they went down paths that I could have sworn I went down, and it led to different areas, and I was like, what the what?
Yeah,
I was like, I don't, huh?
that whole game is very adventurous with like I think purely you're
Yeah.
going around adventuring, not knowing where anything is. Every new location you go to, you have to find the map maker. You don't know where the world is if you don't have the compass equipped. You don't
If
even know where
I-
you are on the map.
If,
Right.
if I remembered that dude's humming, I would do it, but I don't. It's like or something like that.
that. And that is probably the biggest one would be Hollow Knight because of I would love because right now whenever I try to replay it on like Steel Soul mode or just like hey I want to experience it again, I cannot get that same magic back.
Yeah, you know exactly where
I
everything
know
is.
where everything is. I know I have to go here to get your first ability, go over here to get the dash ability, here to get the double jump, here to get the wall jump. I know where everything is, and I know where the map maker is. I don't even need the map maker because I've memorized the map.
Right.
I need the map maker for like fungal wastes and stuff and deep nest because who memorized deep nest? But yeah, so that's the thing is like I wish that I could have that all back again. That's whenever I was telling you guys, whenever you guys were talking about wanting to play it, I was like, don't look anything up. Don't know anything about this game going in. Just find your path. Look around. If you're ever lost, double back.
I only know one thing about that game, and it's a story detail, not a location detail.
Just honestly, even the final bit of the story was like Matt was there when I was fighting the quote unquote final fight.
I
Yeah.
don't know what the boss is. I just know that an event happens where a character gets injured, but I don't even remember when that happens.
Okay. But whenever I was doing it with Matt, and there's this thing that starts happening in the middle of the fight, and Matt and I both look at each other like, well, that's weird. And then it happens again and again, and we're like, oh,
What?
fuck, oh, shit. Like,
Yeah.
he's trying to make it go faster. Okay. And it was like a big moment, and we were like, that's really amazing that they did that. And so, yeah.
Oh, I think I've
Complex
heard you
world.
guys talking about this, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And then I beat the game, and then I didn't beat the game because
And then there was a hollow soul, and then your soul was hollow because you needed more.
I whenever I beat the game, I was at like I don't
How much
know,
do you want Silk Song, Matt or Quentin? How much do you want Silk Song?
I'll pay double. Wear the shirt. I'll pay double for something.
Every single time we watch a direct, you're like, I hope they show Silk Song. And I'm
I
like,
mean,
you know
yeah,
they won't.
You go on Reddit and people are like, ready to be a clown again when they don't show Silk Song, and it's like, yeah, because they're never gonna show Silk Song. Silk Song doesn't exist. That is the new Half-Life 3. Every time there's a joke about Half-Life 3, they delay it by a year.
Well, the thing is that they don't even say Half-Life 3 is in development. It's worse for Silk Song because they say it's in development, so you know it exists.
Here's the thing. I just want this on the record because I know that if it comes out when it comes out, that people are gonna bring it up. I don't think the game is going to be as good as Hollow Knight. I don't think you can capture that lightning in a bottle again. However, I'm still excited because the Team Cherry is obviously talented and they can make a good game. But I do not believe it will be Hollow Knight 2.0. I don't think I will ever get Hollow Knight back.
I mean, sometimes you just have that game, you know.
But Hollow Knight is one of them. Bloodborne is another one, actually. We were talking about Soulsborns. Because I know Bloodborne too well. I don't know the DLC because, I haven't played it, but I've caught bits and pieces. But the main game, yeah, I know where I got to go for that
boy
weapon.
who picks up a giant sword.
What?
I said my horse boy who
Oh, yeah,
picks
that's
up
in
a
the
giant
DLC.
sword.
That's in the DLC. But
That's all I know about that game. And every time I watch that cutscene, I'm like, why?
honestly, I also feel bad. This is going to sound really stupid. I feel bad that I'm good at the game. I feel bad that whenever we first played it, I was getting destroyed by this executioner that's in the opening area of the game. And now, no matter what weapon I start with, I can go over there and murk him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it doesn't feel like I feel like that's a part of this, from Soft formula, is dying. But now I can run through, kill the cleric beast, kill Gascoigne, run up, either kill the Bloodstarved Beast or don't kill the Bloodstarved Beast and go buy the gate key or whatever. And it's by then that I start to actually have some trouble, is whenever I get to Vicar Amelia. And sometimes I kill Vicar Amelia in one go. That's whenever I start to have trouble with the game. And honestly, the Forbidden Woods is just trash. That is just, oh my God, that area is terrifying. Not even because it's hard, but because it is a terrifying location. I would hate to be stuck there, personally. But yeah.
Couldn't you say that about any area in that game? Except, the sanctuary area?
I mean, honestly, yeah, being in the Hunter's Dream would be pretty chill. Minus, what it takes to get there. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool, actually, being in the Hunter's Dream.
But yes, wouldn't any other place except the Hunter's Dream be terrible to be in that game?
I'm really at a loss for any rainbows and sunshines in that game.
Yeah, it's all terrible.
Yeah.
Especially if then you have the cursed knowledge and all of a sudden the pigs start having 5 million eyes on them.
As you once did the vacuous Rob.
I don't understand why there's a problem. Don't you want more eyes?
No.
So that we may see?
Do you wish that they not grant us eyes?
Yes.
So God of War is on my list as well.
The PS4 or
Of
original?
course.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Just because the twists and turns in the story of that game, I would love to experience over again. With like just ass naked, experience these experience the story. Also, a bit of the gameplay, just because it I don't know, it just felt like a whole experience as a game.
I feel like I considered putting God of War on my list, and it's not there. I feel like there's one major thing that does kind of want to make me put it on the list because I do feel like a lot of the family moments of that game will still hit. The one thing I don't think will hit the same is a certain reveal regarding Atreus at the end, like the very end, where I audibly screamed "What?" and I was playing it on the PS4, and my cousin came over. I like walked out of his room that he was staying in because he'd beaten it before me, and was like, "Oh, it happened, didn't it?" But I think that's the only thing that really would make me put it on the list. I have two that are for similar reasons of story over feel. One of them is very obvious, and I feel like a lot of people might say this is Last of Us. I feel like the original Last of Us is just very iconic story. Experiencing that over again, experiencing
Yeah.
those emotions,
Having respect for Joel again would be pretty good.
like I know you hate the ending of that game, Quentin.
I'm about to get murdered by another 20 assassins.
Goodness gracious.
Quentin does not like Joel's decision at the end of the game.
God, that was so like I hear. I'm sorry, I'm going to derail this for a second, but I hear that a big reason why people were upset with the second one was like,
Oh
you know,
no! Don't talk about the second one.
was because of Joel's death, and
Don't
like
say it. Don't say it.
no, nothing. That's the big thing. is
Okay.
Joel's death. People were upset.
If I was so
People
worried
were upset
for a
with
second.
Joel's death, and there's people out there who are saying like, you know, oh, people are only upset because of someone they loved died at the beginning and it wasn't an earned death and all that stuff. The thing is that requires you to actually care about Joel, and I didn't. I didn't like him after the first game. I didn't like him. I think he's a great character because characters have flaws. His flaw makes me not like him.
His flaw being that he sacrificed humanity for
Ellie, who
Ellie.
he wants to create a sort of, you know, surrogate daughter through, a selfish reason.
create.
A
I
selfish
feel like
reason.
create is not correct because I feel like he already did. He just wants to keep that relationship,
I feel like it's very selfish,
which is the point.
which is the point. Again, he's a great character from a storytelling perspective. I don't like him.
Yeah, we've had this conversation about how he does not like Joel. We are not going to touch the second one any more than that because we don't want to die today. We have people of varying opinions on that game, but I still don't want to die because no matter what opinion we state, it's problems. Anyway,
It's the greatest game in the world. It's the most terrible game in the world. Now fight each other.
no, don't. Matthew's over there trying to say some stuff. No.
I'm not trying to say a damn thing. I'm just gonna sit here and wait until we.
Moving on, or just moving back to the original Last of Us, I think that first game is very iconic. There's a lot of really powerful moments in that game, a lot of shocking moments, like the one with Sam and what's his name?
Henry?
Sam and Henry. Very powerful moment. Probably the one that hit me the most
Oh,
after
yeah,
the very
definitely.
beginning of the game,
Definitely a big moment.
and then the end twist as well.
Honestly,
The
even
end
the
decision.
opening twist.
Oh yeah.
That was, like, huge.
The opening thing was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that was really setting the tone for what this game is going to be.
It's a very impactful game. But I have a second one, which I don't know. I was whenever we figured out what the decision was going to be, I actually was playing a little bit of this game. Once again for my, I play games to like research stuff and think about storytelling and ideas. Arkham City, because of the ending. I want to experience that final twist again. I feel like it's been long enough that I can say it, but just so you know, I'm
Definitely.
about to spoil a massive thing that
I
happens in
literally
Arkham City.
spoiled The Last of Us 2.
Yeah,
Like,
but I think this thing is a bit more impactful for people who like Batman. So the again, spoilers. Joker dies experiencing that again would be incredible. Them actually killing off the Joker just blew me away. They have a similar twist in that they kill off a popular character in Marvel's Spider-Man for the PS4. It hit me hard, but it didn't hit me hard like Joker, because if there's one character who is connected to Batman that you'd think, yeah, never kill him, it's Joker.
I
And
really
they did it
like.
anyway.
I really loved the way they did it too, because it was, even after all you've done,
I
would
would
have
have
saved
saved
you.
you.
That is such a powerful line, and people that love Batman are like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there you go.
And then Joker dies laughing.
Yeah, because he's like, that actually is pretty funny.
Laughing from a joke that, or not a joke, but like laughing from what Batman said.
Yeah.
I would. Oh shoot! Hold on. What was I gonna say?
I do agree with that one though. I would love to experience that for the first time again.
I feel like it's a bit niche one that needs to be brought up, but just having
Yeah.
been playing that and thinking about our topic, I'm like, that is a huge twist. Also, that game is just good in general, so I'd love to re-experience it over
The
again.
Mr.
definitely.
Freeze fight, experiencing
Oh,
that for the
yeah.
first time again, not knowing like,
That would be
wait a minute,
insane.
why did that not work?
Yeah, you have to continually do new
That won't
stuff.
work a second time. The Wolf Among Us. Among Us.
Oh man, I really want to play that over again just to get the second, like I say second, another ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, knowing everything that happens kind of ruins it. Again, that's another mystery, right?
Right. Exactly. And that with the world as well, learning like bits of the world as you go, that experience is so much. It would be so awesome to go through that all over
I
again.
still need to play the second season of the Batman one because I only played the first
Oh
one.
yeah, that's good. People are hoping for a third season to come out just because of how much hype has been building around the game lately.
About the Telltale Batman?
Yeah,
Oh wow, I didn't think that would be the one. I know.
it's had a strange like resurfacing of.
I know everyone's excited because they announced that they are doing a second Wolf Among Us season, but
Yes, do it.
Duet.
I really want them to expand that world, because yeah, learning about this world that they live in, and learning everything, what all the characters went through to get to this point, how they got here, their own stories that are going on. God, that was such good writing.
Yeah, man. I would love to experience that again, but that's all that I have on my list.
yeah, that's all for me as well. Do
I,
you have
I
anything else?
actually
Mr.
do
Quinn?
have a real quick touch on. I'm a big fan of Borderlands 2. If I could experience that for the first time again, like honestly, even when doing the whole thing where you're back where you experienced it for the first time, that'd be pretty chill. That'd be pretty cool too. I mean, I think it would be a lot better nowadays. But I don't know. I love Borderlands 2. I love that story. It is just, I don't know if it was just a story I needed at the time or if it actually is just amazing. Like, it speaks to me. But I love that story. Not even the gameplay. Like, the gameplay, I hate grinding. I hate that shit. I play Destiny 2, and I hate that that is what's required for you to get to the higher level content. Fuck that shit. I don't want to go through the presage another 5 fucking times. Fuck that shit. I hear they're getting rid of it next season. Thank fucking God.
Oh yeah, because it's in the dream. It's in the not the. It's in the shore. So
It's
I
in the
guess it makes sense.
shaw. The shaw. Yeah.
As a person who does not play Destiny, I have no idea what either of you are talking about.
It is a map that is totally cool. I like that mission. It's a good mission.
Yeah, the first time.
The
few
first
times.
time. But to get everything for it, you have to play it like 10, 15 fucking times to get all of the story stuff, to get all of the lore tabs. Because every time you go through, you get one lore tab. And there are fucking 12 of them. So you got to go through it at least 12 times. God, I hate that fucking mission now. It is so trash. That final fight also, bullet sponge. Fuck that guy. Hate that motherfucker.
Teleporting bullet sponge.
That is bullshit too, because you'll drop down there, he'll teleport, one shot you, and now you gotta start the whole fucking thing over again. Fuck that shit. God. So, Borderlands 2, good. I hate grinding. Fuck all grinding. Stop all that.
I never grinded in Borderlands 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it's the whole thing where farming more so for loot.
I never did that either.
Yeah, you don't have to, but like I wanted legendaries, and back then legendaries didn't drop so quickly. So I looked up a guide on who drops what legendaries, and would farm for the same legendary over and over again. And yeah, that ruins the experience of the game. It's trash. Fuck that.
which is why I never do it. I just play the game.
Yeah, now I do.
The only time I ever like grind for materials is like when I've already beaten the game. So like, if I just want to get the extra content. And even
So-
then, honestly, I kind of like doing it because then it just gives me time to listen to a podcast or something.
So Borderlands 2, great. Presage, fuck that shit. Let's move on.
I think that's it.
Oh, you think that's it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about how shit Presage is some more. No, we're good.
Well, anyway, so that's our topic. Is there anything you guys are going to be watching or any recommendations that you have? I know I mentioned Quentin, a friend, and I will be watching Venom this upcoming week. I also intend to.
Yes, friend Estefano and I.
Did I say friend of Stefano or did I say Quentin?
It's just so robotic.
Uh, but yeah, so we will be watching Venom 2 this upcoming week. I will probably start watching Squid Game this week just because I keep hearing so much about it, and I'm honestly really interested because the I know I said this to you guys before, but the idea that a show that is in Korean and requires subtitles is the most watched show on Netflix, is the most popular show period on Netflix. It intrigues me that it's made the impact that it has when there's that barrier to entry, I guess. But that's it for me in terms of what I will be watching.
Yeah, I'd recommend Squid Game. I'm watching it right now. I'm about to watch the last episode, hopefully tonight. As well as I just yesterday watched the Star Wars Visions. It's definitely worth a watch. Go check it out. But I think that's it in terms of games. I still plan on buying New World. I'm hearing some pretty positive things about it. So, keep the player base moving.
Are you? Never mind. I'm not gonna remind him. Go ahead.
I'm kind of curious what that was.
I'll bring it up later. I'm gonna make sure he doesn't bring it up this time. Go ahead.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
But then again, it wasn't brought up like two episodes.
No, it was.
We're good. No,
Was it not?
I edited them. I know they weren't.
Oh.
So no, it's not even like I edited them out. Don't think that.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
think
I'd
I
like
cut
to recommend
anything.
Ghost of Tsushima.
There
There you
you
go. Cool.
It's a
It's getting
beautiful
cut out.
game. You need to play it.
I didn't cut them out the last two times. You just didn't say them.
He lies to you.
No, you just didn't say them. I don't know. What I would recommend is so what have I been doing? What have I been doing with my fucking life? Existential dread at the end of the podcast. I would honestly. I've been listening to a lot of music from like movies, from like obviously we were talking about El Dorado, Road to El Dorado.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna like start talking about film scores or something.
Oh, those are great too. I mean, have you ever heard "Time" from the Inception soundtrack?
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
That's a good song. Hans Zimmer is
Inception.
great.
Well, yeah. Except Hans Zimmer now regrets that entire score because it got copied by movies years after.
Oh yeah.
Everyone doing the blah.
So, I actually think that. Honestly, I'm gonna say I keep on saying honestly. Watch Road to El Dorado. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to rewatch Road to El Dorado because I keep on watching all I have listened to It's Tough to Be a God probably 20 times in the past like 3 days.
But do you get the people's nod?
Yes. I was gonna continue it, but like no, this is coming to the end. Because then we would have gone through the entire thing. So
I don't know the rest of the words, so it would have just been you and Matt.
But I do.
Yeah, it just would have been you two.
So I think that Road to El Dorado, watch that. I also was listening to the soundtrack of Mulan, not the soundtrack of Mulan, but the I'll Make a Man Out of You, but also A Girl Worth Fighting For. That's a good
We're
song.
Fighting for.
So I'm going to recommend both Road to El Dorado, Mulan.
That's such a good transition in that movie too.
It really is. And I love like everything I've been listening to about it.
We're fighting, and then it stops.
Yeah, every single time I keep on looking up the actual like video of it, not just the soundtrack, but the video on YouTube, and I can't find a good quality one that shows the next scene, like the start of the next scene.
Just watch the movie. The movie's great.
I mean, yes, that's what I'm saying. Watch Mulan, watch Road Del Dorado.
The animation, not the
Not
live,
live
action,
action,
movie.
obviously. And since we're gonna be talking, since I don't want to say that everything's Disney and Disney's doing all this great stuff. So Road Del Dorado is what, DreamWorks.
Road El Dorado is DreamWorks, yeah.
Also, watch Sinbad. That's a DreamWorks movie.
I've never seen Sinbad.
That is a trip. I'm not gonna
There's-
say it's
there's-
Neither
amazing.
have I, but I've watched several clips of the Chaos Goddess.
Yeah.
I think I've seen a scene from Sinbad on like maybe someone was playing it on like in a class or something, and I walked in and then left. I don't
watched
remember.
the snippet whenever I was listening to all the Road Del Dorado stuff. They were recommending me snippets from other movies, and the part where she shows up to stop Sinbad's execution, that whole scene, that's great. That's a great scene. Also,
Yeah.
Road Del Dorado, it's a great scene. You are not a god. You
Yeah,
lied to me.
I kind of thought that you were gonna do the what's it gonna think? Lucky God.
Lucky God. Yeah, that's a good scene too. But I mean, I was a kid when I watched that show, so I didn't know what the fuck was going on there. But yeah, so yeah, watch Road Del Dorado. I'm gonna say a Disney movie, which I don't agree with Disney, but okay, Mulan, and also watch Sinbad. There you go. Those are
You
my
can
three
say a
recommendations.
Disney movie.
Fuck Disney.
Yes. Their
No,
content is
what?
still good though.
Yes. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I take it back.
Well, like not literally. But yeah, I guess to anger you, my recommendation is Disney related.
Fuck
I
that.
would recommend What If. The series ended, and I'm really excited for season 2. I think they have a lot of potential since the next several seasons are just going to be anthologies and things like that. So I'm super excited as to what they do, especially how they connect the newer movies, because they deliberately kind of left a lot of late phase 3 and now phase 4 stuff out of it because they wanted to let that sit for a little longer. So I'm super excited for whatever they do there. But beyond that, I've honestly not really been consuming too much media that is new. I guess play Arkham City if you've never played it before. I don't know how you haven't. If you're like, if that's something that interests you, I feel like that would automatically be something you'd do. But still, I guess it's the only recommendation I kind of got other than that. But with that, it's been wonderful talking to you boys. And if you guys have any of your own things that you wish you could re-experience, put them in the comments section or tweet them at us. We have a Twitter, we have a Instagram, and we have a TikTok. So if you guys want to try and look at our content there or just see what we post, try and send us messages over there. It'll be chill. Anything else you guys have to say before we say bye?
Watch Road Del Dorado.
You already said that?
Play Ghost of Tsushima.
You're right. Okay. Watch the Road Del Dorado.
Do you have anything to say about grills, Quentin?
Actually, I have something to say. I think that people should watch what's it called?
Okay.
Quinn, what's it
Okay,
called?
you guys.
Quinn, what's
When
it
I
called?
said that, Quentin went so still. It really does give him PTSD, doesn't it?
Why did you do that to him again?
Well, anyway, it's been.
What were you saying, man?
I said I think that people should watch what's it called, Quentin?
How would he know?
Road Del Dorado.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna do your own bit. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Remember to, if you like our content, subscribe. Keeps you guys updated for more. But beyond that, if you guys have any other suggestions for podcast topics, put them in the comments. Send them to us on Twitter. And who knows, maybe we'll even pick it out. We'll try to credit you to our best ability. But with that said, we will see you guys.
Peace.
Bye.